We're happy that you are joining us, and we look forward to showing you the highest quality artwork in the television market today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Fine Art Auction. But first, the rules. All bidders must be registered, and if you're going to bid, make sure you know all the rules. First of all, there is a 10% buyer's premium added to each winning bid. Bidders will be responsible for shipping. All works are guaranteed to be as described, or you don't own it, and you may return it to us for a full and prompt refund. If for any other reason you decide to return your purchase, you may do so for up to 7 days after receipt. But in this case, the buyer's premium and shipping are non-refundable. It is mandatory that you obtain a RMA number for all returns. To obtain this number, simply call customer service during normal business hours. All artwork must be received back to us in exactly the same condition as when it was shipped. Please visit the shopabc.com website for a full list of terms and conditions that apply to all of our auctions. And now, from our studios in Atlanta, it's the Fine Art Auction. We've got works from the masters, the latest up-and-coming street art, and Richard's featured work. From Atlanta to Los Angeles to New York, it's the Fine Art Auction, live!
Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, bright and early. How's Hawaii and California doing? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We've got a great lineup for you today. Some magnificent pieces in today's live auction. That's right, it is a live auction, so out of bed, get to the kitchen, get your coffee and your cornflakes. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a bit of fun. And ladies and gentlemen, let's tell you what we got coming up in the show this morning for you. We're going to start the show with a wonderful piece by a French artist. His name is Dwayve, and he lives in the US. He's been here for many decades. A wonderful, colourful character, and we'll show you that work in a second. We then are going to follow with a wonderful work by Amy Schechter, a great artist. You're going to enjoy her pieces. Albrecht Dürer, we're going back many centuries for a wonderful original hand-coloured work by the great German master. He was the leader of the Northern Renaissance. We then are going to take you back to the US for a wonderful piece by the late, great Andy Warhol. Then we're going to continue with the big names. We're going to Spain for the great Salvador Dali, my favorite master of the 20th century. Then we have this beautifully designed work of Jeff Koons. So the designer Jeff Koons right here, the famous balloon dog. And then Pierre-Auguste Renoir. This is a really rare lifetime work by Renoir from the late 1800s. So completely different things for you, ladies and gentlemen. So all tastes, all budgets. And then we're going to finish the show with our German art superstar, Kef. Look at this beautiful piece with all the gold leaf. That's an original painting. Then we're going to have the charger, and then we might have time for a little surprise, which has just arrived from Berlin. So, ladies and gentlemen, a great lineup for you. Of course, I couldn't do the show without myself. I mean, without Lucy. And ladies and gentlemen, so Lucy will be joining us in a few seconds live from our London studios. And we are going to kick off the show with the fantastic piece right here by the sensational Dwayve.
I am Dwayve. Welcome to my studio. I am happy to be with you at the Fine Art Auction.
Introducing Dwayve, a renowned and highly collected French artist whose talent transcends boundaries. Born in 1952 in Bordeaux, France, Dwayve was raised in an artistic environment. His mother was a classical pianist and his father a sculptor. Dwayve picked up a paintbrush at the age of 3 and completed his first oil painting at age 9. The artist studied the cello at the Conservatoire National des Mystiques in Paris. and attended the prestigious École des Beaux-Arts in Paris to study painting, sparking and fostering a serious pedigree in both of his lifelong passions, painting and music. This dual classical training guided his journey, allowing him to become globally renowned as an exceptional expressionist painter. At the same time, his affinity for music blossomed as he trained rigorously to become a concert cellist. Dwave's life has always been about blending these two worlds. As a painter, he is known for his bold and expressive works. His vibrant brushstrokes, filled with saturated colors, turn everyday scenes into extraordinary visual experiences. Each canvas burst with energy, bringing a sense of joy and movement to life. But painting is only one side of his artistic genius. Dwave is also an accomplished concert cellist. His performances, both solo and ensemble, are marked by the same emotional intensity that defines his paintings. In his hands, the cello becomes a musical brush, painting musical landscapes. What makes this artist truly unique is how he bridges his two talents. His paintings capture the fluidity and rhythm of music, while his heralded music performances evoke the colors and emotions of his artwork. Together, they create a multi-sensory experience, inviting audiences to feel and see the world through his eyes. Dwave's legacy is evidenced through his art at auction, in fine art galleries and concert halls around the world. His genius in blending art forms has captivated millions, thus inspiring a new generation of artists to explore the interconnectedness of the arts. Dwave is that transformational artist, reminding us that creativity knows no limits. It flourishes in many forms. Dwave's journey as both an expressionist painter and a concert cellist exemplifies the power of artistic passion. Through his extraordinary and multidisciplined talents, he celebrates the beauty of human expression in all of its forms, leaving an indelible mark on the world of art and music.
Good morning, the lovely people of America. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good start to your very early morning and you are ready for an incredible lineup. And what a beautiful piece of art to start the show with. This is exactly what you would want in a Dwave. This is what he's known for, these wonderful scenes that really just uplift you. And imagine hanging this in your home and seeing it every day and feeling that sense of joy every time you see it. That's what art and collecting art is all about. Now, every single weekend, I tell you, if you are brand new to the show or if you are a regular viewer, you do not need to know anything about art to collect it. Please don't fall into that trap. All you need to know is what you love. It really is that simple. Collect with your heart and your knowledge will follow. And that's the beautiful thing about collecting art. You do start to accumulate knowledge as you go along, and it really just becomes the fun aspect of it all. But you don't need to know anything to begin with. But Dwave, let me tell you a little bit about him. His artistic journey, as you've learned from that video, started almost as soon as he could walk. He grew up in a very creative household. He went to art school. He also, as we know, has become an accomplished musician. And his artwork is instantly recognizable. He tends to create scenes like this that invite you in. And they're rich with color, they're rich with energy, and the compositions are just fantastic. And they're this beautiful view of a gorgeous place in the world. In this instance, it is Positano. I mean, if you've ever been to Positano, that never leaves you, that experience. It truly is a beautiful, magical place, and he's captured it. He gives his pieces such energy, bold color, expressive texture, radiant light. He paints these landscapes, these cityscapes, florals, figurative works, sailboats, everything shimmers. And it is, isn't it, here with energy. And this is what I love about this artist, and this is why he's been so incredibly successful. He's been painting now for 50 years. He's become internationally recognized and collected. He paints with speed, confidence, passion. He truly, truly is a master of the paintbrush, the palette knife, those textures, everything, composition. It's just a beautiful, beautiful scene. And everyone, this is one of those pieces that isn't going to date. It's timeless. These are timeless subjects. A vase of flowers, a beautiful vista. You know, it is really asking you to jump right in to that piece of art and be there for those moments that you sit or you look at it. So that's what I love, you know, and he is a major presence in the international art world. I will show you a little bit on that later on, but his work is exhibited throughout Europe, United States. He lives in the United States. He's in major galleries. He tours all over the place. He loves what he does. He's so passionate about what he does, and he has a devoted following of art collectors. Let's go over to my screen and have a look at some of his subjects, not his style, because his style is instantly recognizable, and that is the hallmark of a great artist and an artist who has longevity. And of course, we know he's been here for 50 years painting. Here he is with his wife. She was a professional ballerina, so a very creative couple. Really, I think, you know, very flamboyant and gregarious. That's exactly what they exude, or what he exudes in his canvases. Sailboats as well is very much part of what he does. He is inspired by where he lives. He lives in Florida. He lives on the water. He also has been invited, and not many artists are able to enter into this world, but he does paint prestigious cars and luxury brands, high end, like Lamborghinis and Ferraris. So, you know, look at that. I mean, just beautiful, incredible, and I think works so well as well in Florida. And here he is with one of his masterpieces. I love it. I just love what he does. Paints as well, bespoke cellos and cello cases. And again, that's just him and what he does and what he does so well. Incredible. So if you are maybe an artist and you play the cello, you definitely would want to get in touch with him. But look, that's what we're talking about. Exactly what we've got for you this morning. This is what he does, and he does so well. Let's come back to our work. As I've said, he's a major presence. Now, this piece, this truly is a wonderful place for you to start collecting a Dwayne, because it's a hand-embellished work. And what we mean by that is that he has actually, after the edition has been run, he's then taken his palette knife, his paintbrush, and he's decided he's going to accentuate with actual paint. So you have got those highlights which will catch the light in the daytime, in the evening, when you've got artificial or you have daylight. It's going to really highlight and bring that painting to life. And in actual fact, what you are acquiring is like an original, but not with that original price tag. You're only at $200. We also frame every single piece that we present to you this morning. That frame, I would imagine, is at least a $600-700 frame. So at $200, you already know you're getting the steal of the century. So ladies and gentlemen, I would definitely be getting on those phones. Let's see what's happening over in the studio, and it is back to Richard. And good morning, Richard.
Morning, Lucy, my dear. You're looking lovely over there. I know it's very, very hot in England at the moment. They're having a heat wave, ladies and gentlemen. It's nearly 25 degrees. But no, about 35 degrees. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Lucy. Let's have a great show. And ladies and gentlemen, we need your involvement. I know it's a bit early in the morning. We normally start at 8 a.m. But I thought, well, I'll start this one really, really low for you at only $200, and I haven't had a phone call just yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing I can say is if you're watching the show, and we certainly hope you are, because if not, you won't be able to hear me, you could have a magnificent opportunity in this first hour, because we don't normally start until 8 a.m. So a lot of our viewers will be tuning in, and they'll be quite surprised to see we're in the middle of an auction at 8 a.m. But in this first hour, you never know your luck. So if you want to call in, have a bid, have a go. Everything sells to the highest bidder. Everything comes framed. Everything comes certified authentic, not just for a day, a week, a month, or a year, but actually a lifetime guarantee on its authenticity. This is a hand-signed work, ladies and gentlemen, and it is called Positano Vista Flowers. It is what's known as a Giclée of archival pigment, so a limited edition print, a deluxe print created on canvas, and then hand finished by the artist. So I'll explain how he hand finishes it. Still no bids on this one just yet. I've just opened it very low for you at only 200. It is signed numbered and inscribed on the Verso. You could be very, very lucky in this first hour. That's all I can say, ladies and gentlemen. So it's up to you. I can't bid for you. All you got to do, get on the phone, and ladies and gentlemen, a $25 bid now could actually acquire it. But again, you've got to get on the phone. So ladies and gentlemen, let's explain how a hand embellished work works. Ladies and gentlemen, it is produced on canvas. But if my good friend in the camera team could zoom in on this bouquet here, you will see that is not flat at all. It is all hand embellished along with all the other parts of the painting. It means that the artist has gone back with his palette knife. Now, he's a palette knife painter, paints with the palette knife a lot. A lot of this is brush stroke, but then the rest of it done with a knife. Very, very difficult. I can see exactly the technique that is used. One of my friends is one of the best palette knife painters in the world, and I've watched up close exactly how they do it. Now, Dwayne is a world-famous palette knife painter, but he's also a world-famous musician. He was a soloist as a cello player. So he goes all over the world playing the cello. He has exhibited all over the world. He's won numerous awards, which Lucy will tell you about in a moment. But it's our first lot. I've still not had a bid, John. So, John, I'll tell you what, I know it's early in the morning, but if we don't get a bid in the next, I'll put up a 3-minute clock with Lucy. If we don't get a bid by the time it reaches 1 minute, Lucy, I will have to withdraw it. But I'll leave it to you, my dear. 3-minute clock now. And ladies and gentlemen, if we don't get a bid, I'll pass it out. We'll bring on something else.
Yes, everyone, definitely take advantage of this first hour because it is unusual. We're normally on air at 8 a.m. So between 7 and 8, I think you are going to have an incredible advantage. So particularly if you are brand new to the show, don't worry. Speak to the team. They are really good and they will guide you through the process. But this is a truly incredible piece. I mean, you don't find hand embellished works by Dwayne very often, and nor do you find these ones where he's combined that beautiful vista with a bouquet of flowers. And you can see when we go up and close and personal with it, you can see those brushstrokes, you can see those hand embellishments, you can see those pops of colour, you can see those palette knife strokes. And I don't know whether anyone is familiar with, there was an artist called Behrens, and Behrens was also really good, and I think that might be who Richard is referring to, really good with the palette knife. And he, you know, here too, you can see the richness of those strokes. He doesn't just paint, Wave. It's almost like he's performing. His brushstrokes move the way music moves. You can feel the fluidity of them, can't you? The energy. And I also feel that this piece, these works, his style has echoes of Vincent van Gogh as well. If you've ever seen some of Vincent van Gogh's flowers, you know, the sunflowers in those vases, the richness of those strokes. And it's almost as if these pieces come alive and they have a life of their own, an energy of their own, because of those hand embellishments. It is like owning, as we've said, an original piece, but without that original price tag. His colours are really electric as well. His style is unmistakable. He brings these bursts of energy into your room, wherever you're going to put it. An office space, maybe. Remember, don't just think about your homes. Think about your office spaces. Maybe it needs a little bit of livening up, a bit of personality. I can't bear it when I walk into any establishment like a bar or a hotel or a restaurant or an office and there is nothing on those walls. So consider those spaces as well. Let's go back to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a superb piece. Thank you, Lucy. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to sell it. I'll give you the last minute. Final call for bids now. Final call for bids. We're in the last minute now, ladies and gentlemen. It's on sale with you. I told you I'd move on nice and swiftly. And here you go. You've got an opportunity. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for bidding. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're wide awake, now is your opportunity. It's in this first hour because we don't normally start until 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So only a few of you are alive and awake to this opportunity. I'll take another 25 to move on, ladies and gentlemen. It's a best and final bid. Best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no? Best and final bid. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. I'm selling now. It's on sale now. On sale now, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to go. And I am going to sell it right now, John. At 4. Thank you very much, Darren. At 400 bid. At 4. Going to bid at 4. At 4. At 4. At 400 bid. And the gavel's scores high at 400 bid. At 400 bid. Are you bidding? Yes or no? Is that 400 there, John? At 400. Thank you very much. At 4. Sold at 400. And John. Now, he only does 5, I believe this edition was 95. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we actually have 3 of these available. So, you've got yours at 400. Congratulations. I will do the remaining two at 400 each, plus the buyer's premium, just to save a bit of time. Each one uniquely hand-finished by Dwayne, ladies and gentlemen. So, uniquely hand-finished, hand-signed by him. And, ladies and gentlemen, let's pass it back to Lucy. I've done it. I've just stopped the bidding there, Lucy, at 400. I've got 2 available, and they're all uniquely hand-finished. Ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful opportunity. 400 plus the buyer's premium. Buy it now. Here is Lucy.
Well, I mean, listen, the early birds get the worms, right? I mean, and this is not a worm. This is a beautiful piece of art by Dwayne. I mean, goodness me. Oh, yes, I need to show you very quickly. Maybe I can get onto the site. But, you know, this is an artist who has won his place in the history of art. You know, this is an artist who has won so many awards and accolades, and he's in the who's who, and do you know what I'm saying? And so to own a piece by him, and not just any work, actually a hand embellished work as well, for $400, which isn't even the cost of the frame. Let's be honest here. I mean, you are doing exceptionally well. And let's go to my screen. So we can see here some of his awards, just so you understand. Maybe you are not familiar with this artist. He has been painting for 50 years, and has won all of these, you know, Commander of the Order of Star of Europe, Who's Who in International Art. Let's go back to Richard, Who's Who in American Art. Let's go back to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on. There is one left. If someone wants it, ladies and gentlemen, you're more than welcome, and thank you for getting up so early to watch this live auction. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one available. It was a limited edition, but each one created on canvas and then hand painted by the artist, hand signed. Ladies and gentlemen, this in a gallery. I know he owns a gallery in Palm Beach. This would be probably close to $4,000. So 400, I think is very, very fair for that, John. Plus the buyer's premium. Don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. So it comes framed, it comes certified at 400. No money at all. Well done. And there's one available if you want it, but you've got to call in now. 866-518-5933. John, we're moving on with the show. And coming up now is a magnificent artist. You're going to love this piece. And it is by Amy Schechter.
Amy Schechter is a dynamic, multidisciplinary artist who's known for her vivid imagination and layered approach to visual storytelling. Amy was born in Alaska, where the cold, dark months inspired her to fill her living space with colorful and interesting art using unconventional materials. At the age of 20, she moved to Florida, where she earned her master's in art education. She then spent 8 years teaching before quitting after she realized how much she loved being a full-time artist. Guided by her fascination with different cultures, communities, and fashion, her artwork is recognized for its vibrant energy and sculptural depth. She merges digital designs with various materials and textures, such as resin casting, plexiglass, beads, and glass, giving each of her pieces a bold 3D appearance to create a lasting impression. Her art often features dreamlike figures that are surrounded by textured layers and vibrant materials. These figures often symbolize transformation, growth, and the natural beauty of life. Her art not only offers a visual appeal, but they are carefully constructed to evoke joy, introspection, and wonder within the viewer, inviting them to interpret the pieces in their own way by discovering personal connections within the striking composition.
Welcome back, everyone. And again, you know, if you're up early and you're watching the Fine Art Auction right now, you are super, super privileged and lucky, because this work, I'm really thrilled that we have Amy on the show and we have originals by her. So now, immediately, can you see that there are actually sculptural elements within this work? So can you see, you know, this is definitely an original mixed media work with these sculptural pieces within it. This is what she's known for, and this is how she's made her name, and why the art world really are taking notice of this extraordinary artist, because she's one of those contemporary artists who often create an immediate emotional response. And not only is she doing that in this way that is very modern, but also look at the way she's captured Elvis. This is an artist, of course, with extraordinary talent. Don't think that that is easy to achieve. You know, painting a portrait like that and capturing him, you know, this legend, and then really bringing him into the 21st century using this modern floral, sculptural, mixed media presence. You've got resin there as well. Now, resin is very modern. I love it. And I love anything that has been created with resin because it gives it that very high-end luxury feel. It gives it that 21st century premium feel. And that is what she does, and she does really, really well. I mean, if you want to own an original piece by a contemporary artist who's making a name for herself, then this is definitely the one to go for. Perhaps you are an Elvis fan, or you know someone who is. Again, another reason to acquire works of art is because you have a passion for that particular person. But what she does is she creates work that feels incredibly current. Her paintings have this sophistication to them, and that sits really beautifully in modern interiors. Let's go over to my screen and just let me really demonstrate that. So you can go and have a look at some of her social media presence and obviously do a little bit of research yourself, but you can see here, you know, that this is an artist that fits very well into that modern vibe and into our modern world. And equally, I'm going to say this, even if you have a traditional home, and look, that's a traditional style home, but they've mixed it up a bit with a modern piece of art. I love that. I love when people do that. You do not need to be matching your artwork to your drapes. Let me just say that. You acquire art because you fall in love with it and you find a space for it, and it will work. I promise you that. And with Amy's works of art, they do. They will work in any environment because they have presence all on their own. And I think that we can see here, we're zooming in on some of those sculpture aspects. That's what you're seeing in the piece that we've got for you this morning. I am loving it. I'm sure everybody in the studio is loving it as well. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts, everyone? Let's come back to our piece. This is an original. Only one of you can have it, okay? The King. The King. She's celebrating Elvis as more than a musician. He's become this cultural icon. We know he has. He's almost mythological, isn't he? And then the vibrant flowers, the bold colors, the 3D sculptural elements, they elevate him beyond celebrity into this realm of the legend that we know that he is, the King. So this is truly astonishing what she's able to do here. And I think this is why she is seeing her popularity soar. She's starting to be represented in many, many galleries, and we know that that means that an artist is getting huge amounts of exposure, particularly now appearing on the fine art auction. She is going to be seen by many more of you. Many more of you will be looking her up, wanting to acquire a work by her, and then we know what happens because we've seen it happen. We have the data. We know then that these original works of art are going to increase in value and become inaccessible to the everyday person who's sitting at home wanting to adorn their walls with incredible things. So don't let that be you. Don't miss out on that opportunity that you are being presented with right now to own a work of art by one of the most exciting contemporary artists out there currently. Own an original. This is an original. All of those lovely layers that you see. She doesn't just paint simply a painting. She builds it. Layers of acrylic, texture, collage elements, expressive mark making, sculptural pieces. She's created each of those flowers individually herself, and then she's applied that onto the canvas. Then she's used resin. So this is why her works reveal something different every time you look at them. I love this artist, Richard. What are your thoughts? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Lucy. And ladies and gentlemen, here is your beautiful work by Amy Schechter. It is lot number 2. 1,400 is the top bid at the moment, and a couple of you are obviously very familiar with her work. John, where is our top bidder from? Pennsylvania. She must be very, very popular in Pennsylvania. 1,400 is bid, and ladies and gentlemen, Amy Schechter then, the original mixed media painting. It is an original. It's called The King. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, Amy Schechter, the great Elvis Presley. Can you believe, John, he's been gone nearly 50 years. Nearly 50 years. I remember it, my young sister was a baby, and the day he passed away in England, everyone was very sad, and I dressed her up as Elvis Presley that day, you know, as a tribute. But 50 years ago, nearly. Ladies and gentlemen, original mixed media work with sculptural elements, and a lot of work goes into the sculptural elements, ladies and gentlemen. It's applied with resin on canvas, and this is initialed by the artist on the lower right and signed along the canvas edge. It is a unique work, and it was executed by Schechter in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, let me try and show you the sculptural elements on this piece, and we'll now, John, let's dim the lights a bit, because I'd like to see just how much diamond dust has been applied to the King's portrait. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Let's bring the lights right down, please. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, have a look at the piece. Let's zoom in on that. Bring it right down. There we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Now you get to see it. You see the diamond dust in it. So I think Elvis would approve of this. A great, great piece, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had time to tell you the story about Elvis and my mother meeting in Frankfurt in the late 1950s. She was the star of a show called Holiday on Ice, and he had his own show whilst he was a GI in Germany. So, you know, they met, and anyway, it was a lovely, lovely story. And ladies and gentlemen, a great party was held, apparently. Anyway, I'd just like to say thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this piece. It is absolutely superb. It's an original, a great, great piece, and it is the incredible Elvis. Pennsylvania's still in the lead, obviously, John. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up the lights totally now, and let's show the resin finish. Remember, it's an original, ladies and gentlemen, so get bidding on this one. It should be making somewhere in the auction around $10,000. It is a one-of-a-kind, Is $10,000 about the right price for this, John?
That's correct.
Around $10,000. The gallery price, so let's cut it in half at $5,000. I think that would be very fair for the auction. Ladies and gentlemen, so anything under $5,000, you've done very well. They're around $10,000 apparently in a gallery for this size, Lucy. And Lucy, have you had these over in England yet in the galleries? If not, you need to get them. I think Elvis would be absolutely very, very popular amongst her other images, and you'll see some of those very soon. Here's Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Richard, it's only a matter of time before she gets over to the United Kingdom, because this is most definitely what the art market, everyone in the art market is looking for. Something different, something exciting, something bold, expressive, colourful. You know, she is combining so many different things here, and that's what I really like about her. I think her work is really appealing because it combines technical skill, which we definitely see in evidence right here, and then she is combining emotion as well, and then beautiful layers, mixed media, originals, you know, contemporary, optimistic. They're the kind of paintings that don't demand you to understand art history. That's why I really like them as well. Remember, I'm all about that. I just think you should just look at a piece of art and just think, I love it. And it really is as simple as that. You don't need to be looking for hidden meanings or anything. They just simply invite you to enjoy them. And there's so much to enjoy here, isn't there? And if you walk past a painting every day and it continues to make you smile or notice something new that maybe you didn't see before, then that's a wonderful thing to own. And that's what we're looking for, I think, in this day and age. We particularly are looking now for things that are created by humans using human imagination and using all of their creativity and incredible technical ability and talents and all of those wonderful things that go into creating something like this. If we go to my screen, again, you know, you can see some of her commissions that she's done here. I just think she is a fabulous, fabulous artist. Wonderful, exactly what we want, I think, in our lives, in our modern world, and just, you know, little slices of joy, but done in an incredible way. I mean, this is one of her exhibitions, and I just love the glamour of it. You don't get that same glamour over here in the United Kingdom, I have to say. I've worked in the art world for a long time, and I never had to dress up like that. But yeah, I just think it's fabulous. I love it. And you can see that she is hanging amongst some of those big, big names in the contemporary art world right now. I just noticed Josh Mayhem there. Let's come back to our work. Now, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit on your hands, as we say, or are you going to make sure you acquire this piece of art and wake up tomorrow morning very, very happy indeed that you did? And also, I think your future self will really thank you for acquiring this, because this is an artist who really is on her way to something huge. Let's go back to Richard.
Okay, 1800, I have Texas in the lead. Thank you very much. Texas is wide awake this morning. Thank you very much for your bid. 1800 is the bid. 1800, let's give it the final call for bids. 1 minute clock, please. 1 minute clock. Final call for bids. We're on sailing with you. Final call for bids. 1800 is bid. Texas in the lead. It is about to sell. It is an original, around 10,000 in the gallery. You've seen her in the gallery. What a beautiful, beautiful gallery that is. And ladies and gentlemen, her works are stunning. She is not too bad herself. Ladies and gentlemen, some great, great pieces. 1800 is the bid. 1800. Anyone else, yes or no? Texas, it looks like you're going to get it at 18 bid. 18 bid on sailing with you. 30 seconds to go at 1800 bid. 1800 is bid. 1800 bid. 1800. Is there anyone else, yes or no? At 1800. 1800 is bid. 1800 last call. Final call, final chance, I'm selling at 1800 on the original. Well, ladies and gentlemen, whoever gets this in Texas, you've done very well. At 1800, the gavel's high. Last chance, last call. Is there anyone else, yes or no? With Texas then this time. Thank you. Sold and gone. Congratulations. Good morning, Texas. Thank you for your bid. And ladies and gentlemen, we're about to move on, and we are going to do, John, a high bidder's choice, I think. Let's bring in the other work for Amy Schechter. These are both resins, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to bid on the works here. We have the first lot up here is obviously a picture of an image of the Queen as a young lady, wonderful, wonderful lady. We lost her on the 8th of September 4 years ago. Isn't that hard to believe, John? 4 years since the Queen passed away on the 8th of September. And ladies and gentlemen, it is lot number 7, and that is Queen Liz, she's called it. I'm not sure Her Majesty would approve of being called Liz, but there we go. Queen Liz, she was known as Lilibet to her father, and mixed media with diamond dust under resin on canvas, signed by the artist on the verso, and it's from a series of unique variations, ladies and gentlemen. And on the next one is lot number 8, and that is called Float On, and it is a stunning image of Marilyn Monroe perched on that beautiful animal there. Mixed media with diamond dust under resin, signed by the artist on the verso from a series of unique variations. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got an opportunity to bid on the highest bidder on the pieces, and I will do this, John. I will not even start. I mean, I should start these at about 1,000. That would be fair, don't you think, John?
That would be fair.
1,000. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start them at $100, and I want to see who's awake here this morning. And I'm going to give you a chance to own the beautiful pieces. Let's, John, dim all the lights. I want to show the resin. If we could focus in on Her Majesty. Later on, a great image of the Queen there, and as a young lady, she was probably in her mid-20s then when she became the Queen in 1952. So on the passing of her father, King George VI, she became the Queen at a very young age in her early 20s. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a wonderful image of her. So it's going to be to the highest bidder now. And ladies and gentlemen, they come framed. Let's have a look at Marilyn Monroe. This is a great image. Ladies and gentlemen, I should start these at about $1,000. Let's zoom in on that one. And let's pick up the diamond dust on the piece here. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful, wonderful piece. And don't forget, these are finished in the resin finish. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very popular with our European artists, but Amy Schechter has done a series here, and as you saw in the galleries, they are very popular indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, I've done it ridiculously low. This is a test just to see who's watching, John. So let's bring up all the lights, full lights, and let's take it over to Lucy. In the meantime, Lucy, I will play with the pieces. I'll show you the resin finish on it. You see there's no glass on the work, ladies and gentlemen. That is all finished in the resin. How does she do it? In her studio. She has a sealed room, uses a gas mask to protect her lungs, and then places the resin over the piece with a butcher's block underneath supporting the weight of it. They pour the resin over it, and ladies and gentlemen, that finish is magnificent. The way she's done it, they are virtually perfect. So ladies and gentlemen, you cannot see anything. It almost looks like a piece of finished furniture the way it's done, ladies and gentlemen, with that resin. So it takes about a month for each one. $100 is the opening bid, and it's your opportunity. High bidder's choice now. Red banner, let's get going, let's look lively. And here is Lucy, 3-minute clock.
Wow, I can't believe you started them off at $100, Richard. I mean, these are so spectacular, and I don't think actually you will find these even in the galleries she's represented in, because I've got a feeling perhaps they are really exclusive to us. And you know what you've got here is mixed media with diamond dust, and for those of you who don't realise, this diamond dust is real diamond, and it is an incredibly complex process as well, applying that into the resin so that you get that even distribution, and then of course you get that incredible sparkle. So you know, for me, honestly, I would not be hesitating, particularly as Richard has started them so incredibly low. Just take advantage. If you are here in the early hour and you got up early, what a great reward for getting up early on a Saturday morning. So what we're seeing here is Amy obviously combining another iconic legend, Marilyn Monroe, bringing her up to date, surrounding her with luxury and bringing her into the 21st century with all of that symbolism with Louis Vuitton and those splashes of color, the flamingo, the pink of her skirt, that famous skirt, you know, almost billowing out, and that's forming the basis of the flamingo. I love that one. That is one of my own personal favorites. I'm a big fan of flamingos and Marilyn as well. And then of course the Queen. And let's just talk about this particular piece, because it's almost as if she's bringing the Queen into the 21st century. She's not portraying the Queen as this remote monarch. And I think too that's indicative in the name, Queen Liz. She's brought her into that much more personable level that we can relate to. So she's presenting her as this timeless cultural figure. She's combined history and a very iconic image of the Queen. This is the one that appeared on our banknotes and our coins. And, you know, she is looking beautiful, and she's brought in her contemporary artistic expression into this one very striking image. And then you've got the gorgeous detail there of the crown, all of that spectacular colour, the florals, you know, that's bringing it, it's like it's created this halo around the Queen, but they're really, really vibrant, aren't they, as well? Let's go over to my screen. Now, look, I'm obsessed with this space, as it says in the post. Look at that. That's one of her paintings there within a gorgeous bathroom, have to say. I mean, wow. And so this is what I'm talking about. We know now that with the power of social media, more and more people are going to be specifying her pieces in their architectural projects. More and more people will be collecting her. It happens. And make no mistake, it's happening right now to this artist. And the opportunity you have, and you're only at $150 to own a work by her, is just, I think, an incredible opportunity and not one to be missed out on. Let's come back to our work. Let's come and let's just have another little talk about these pieces, because what we're seeing here, mixed media with diamond dust under resin on canvas. There are a series of unique variations, meaning each one is different. Each one is essentially an original, because no two can be the same. They are created by humans, not by robots. I think we have to make that very clear. And, you know, this is an artist who is represented in many major galleries across the United States. That is beginning to spill over into Europe. This is an artist who is seeing her star rise, and we know what happens then. This is an artist with a identifiable, instantly identifiable style, and once again, that's the hallmark of an artist that's here to stay. Let's go back to Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go at 300 bid. At 3, going to bid at 3, and we are going to sell to the highest bidder. I'll quickly show you the certificate of authenticity. Let's have a look at the first one for the Queen, Queen Liz. Mixed media with diamond dust under resin on the canvas, signed by the artist on the verso. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to sell to the highest bidder. So you've got a great, great opportunity now. All you've got to do is get on the phone, get bidding on that one. It's from a series of unique variations. And ladies and gentlemen, at 3 1/4 bid, thank you. At 3 1/4 from a series of unique variations. At 325. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show you the next certificate. It's going to go to the highest bidder. And ladies and gentlemen, then you have Float On, mixed media with diamond dust under resin on canvas, signed by the artist on the verso. A great, great opportunity to bid on this work as well. And it's from a series of unique variations. 350 is bid. At 350. John, I'm about to sell. At 350. Is there anyone else now? 375. At 375. And ladies and gentlemen, these are both mixed media diamond dust works. Let's go back to the pieces. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you one final minute, final call for bids. Lucy, your opinion on this one. They're being given away at this level. Here's Lucy, and it is the high bidder's choice.
Yeah, I mean, they are totally being given away, and honestly, I don't know how we can do this. You know, it makes me a little bit nervous. Let's go over to my screen. Look, custom piece for a collector in Milan. I mean, this just tells you everything you need to know. My lovely friends in America, you just not need to be hesitating right now. I mean, and all those comments, let's come back to our work. This is your chance to own a piece of art that is really modern, really contemporary, really, I think, relatable, and going to start conversations with anyone who walks into your home. It makes a statement. That's what her artwork does, and that's what great artists do. They're able to create these works of art that start conversations, but at the same time, they look incredible. I mean, these are striking pieces that you're going to hang in your home. They're unique variants, so no two are going to be the same. There's only a few of them out there. And what she's doing is she's almost asking, particularly with the one with Marilyn and the flamingo and the Louis Vuitton, is, you know, she's asking, what do we really value today? Is it faith? Is it status? Is it beauty? You know, this is the start of conversations, but it's also just a beautiful work of art. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling now at 450. 450 is bid at 450. I'll tell you what, John, I'm going to save some time. I'm going to sell it now at 450. Sold and gone. Give them a round of applause at 450. I believe that was on the Queen at 450. And ladies and gentlemen, she makes 5 of these for the world. She makes 5 of these for the world. John, I know that this should make a lot more because of the size of it, but here's what I'm going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got 2 of these available. The Queen at 450 plus the buyer's premium. I'm going to do the Marilyn for the same price, 450 plus the buyer's premium. I've got 3 of those. I've got 2 of these. So ladies and gentlemen, call in now. You've got to be very, very quick. Just ask for number 1, the Queen, or number 2, Marilyn. 450 plus the buyer's premium. We're just going to save some time. Lucy, what do you think of that deal? You would never see see these in a gallery anywhere near that price. They're fantastic. Over to you, my dear.
No, I mean, honestly, everyone, I am astounded that we're going to let these go at 450. I mean, I wish I was allowed to bid or buy it now, because I would be definitely snapping up both of these works. So the question only remains to you, which one are you going to acquire? Are you going to acquire one, or are you going to acquire them both for $900? I mean, wow. And again, remember about those gifts that you might need to give. I think art, particularly art that you buy from the fine art auction, is a really high perceived value, and you're not spending very much. 450, that's not even the price of the frame. Like I said, I don't quite know how we're doing this, but that's not for you to worry about. It's for you to get on those phones and not miss out on that opportunity. We're obviously willing to do that, and you just need to be the willing recipient. And by becoming the recipient, you just need to, well, to become the recipient, you need to get on those phones. The diamond dust as well, I love the way that everything sparkles, particularly on that beautiful Marilyn with the flamingo and the Louis Vuitton, and it's just a very clever work. She's an incredible artist, and I think the combination is incredibly striking. Love the flower there as well, the detail. These are those types of art that you will see something new every single time you look at them. The Queen, just a classic. Maybe you are a monarchist, you're a royalist, you know, this would be a wonderful piece to have. It's a bit of fun as well. The beautiful floral surround, it's almost like this halo around the Queen. And, you know, we do miss the Queen. Let's go back to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're nearly run out. We've nearly run out. I think there's one of each available. John, I think Beverly wants one over there. I don't know which one she wants on line 8, but $450. I've just matched the price now, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, this is a lot larger, should be more money, but anyway, I've done them for the same because it takes the same amount of time to do them. It takes about a month to do each one. They're done in her studio in a sealed room. Can't allow dust on these, because when you pour the resin on the canvas, obviously it's liquid. She has to wear the gas mask just to protect her lungs from the resin, but when it's dry, no odor at all, completely safe. So last chance. I think there's one of this and only one of this now. Is that right, John? I think so. Only one of this and one of this, but you have to call in now if you want the last choice. The last choice, $450 plus a buy, and Marilyn has sold out. Take it out. Take it out. Let's focus on the most lovely lady in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one more available of the Queen. I'd love that one myself, ladies and gentlemen. So, John, if no one takes it, I'll have it. There we go. $450 plus a buyer's premium, and I'm sure Lucy fight me for that one, but ladies and gentlemen, a great piece, and it is featuring the late great Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got an opportunity. Marilyn has sold. There is one available of the Queen if you would like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on with the show, and now is time to bring in our masterworks. We're going to bring in the work of Albrecht Dürer. An absolutely amazing work of art, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to focus, is this piece called The Resurrection, John? Okay, so there we go. Let's bring in The Resurrection then, please. And this is our opportunity to show you the work of the great Albrecht Dürer, ladies and gentlemen, and there we go. I'm going to bring in, I want to do one at a time, actually. John, if you don't mind. The Resurrection first, please. And let's just focus on that work. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to focus on it because it's a very important work of art. And then we will offer the second piece. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the auction with Lucy. I'm going to give you an opportunity to bid on this magnificent hand-coloured work, and ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely superb. It is The Resurrection, the most important work I think that we've had in the auction by Albrecht Dürer. This was created in 1550. 1550, ladies and gentlemen. It is not only a woodcut impression, this is what he was famous for, but ladies and gentlemen, this work is from 1550, monogrammed on the block, and the actual work, ladies and gentlemen, is unbelievable. It was executed by Virgil Solis, who was prevalent between 1514 and 1562. and it's after the design of Dürer, monogrammed on the block. And ladies and gentlemen, it is called the Resurrection. And ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to offer this piece because it is the most powerful piece I think I've seen on the show. How do you value this, John, when it's hand-coloured from that period in the history of mankind? You don't get many hand-coloured works from that period. You will get black and white images, but to find one in this magnificent condition, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to give someone the golden opportunity. Lucy, I mean, how do I value this? 35,000? I think on the right day, the right auction, it could make even more. I'm going to start it, ladies and gentlemen, at only $2,500, and I'll open it to the highest bidder. It will sell to the highest bidder. Let's give Lucy the chance to educate you on this magnificent 1550 Albrecht Dürer. Before I pass it to Lucy, I want you to think of this. Albrecht Dürer was the man that Rembrandt looked up to. When Rembrandt passed away, they found the works of Albrecht Dürer in his collection. Rembrandt would have loved this piece for himself. Why? Because it's hand-coloured from that period, 1550. Ladies and gentlemen, a magnificent opportunity to acquire this historical piece that really ought to be in a museum. The opening bid is ridiculously low. I should start it at a minimum of $15,000. I'm opening it at $2,500. It will sell to the highest bidder. Here's Lucy.
Look, there is so much to unpack here. This is a major work. This is museum level collecting. This is blue chip art. Albrecht Dürer is just one of those artists that is always going to be a part of our history. He elevated art in so many different ways, but particularly in printmaking. So we have to take ourselves back to 1550, to that era. There was no other way of illustrating anything, creating works of art to really hold as archives. We didn't have cameras, we didn't have phones, we didn't have photocopiers, we didn't have any way of creating prints. And Albrecht Dürer, he came up with this way, which was to create woodcut engravings. So what you're essentially doing is you're taking a chunk of wood, imagine that, and then you're carving out of it what you want to stay in, so the piece of art, and carving out everything you don't want. It really is technical mastery and creative genius. And then on top of that, we've got the fact that it's hand colored. I mean, this is a major deal, everyone. I really hope I really do this work justice, because Albrecht Dürer alone is widely regarded as one of the greatest artists of all time, a true master of the woodcut. And then we've got the other artist here, who is Virgil Solis, who in his own right is a major deal as well. He was one of the leading printmakers and designers working in Nuremberg at that time, and so that's why he was approached to create what we're looking at here. Then imagine that. There are very few things in this world that have survived nearly 500 years. And this little sheet here, this little sheet of paper in this gorgeous frame has lived through the Tudor dynasty, the English Civil War, the Industrial Revolution, through 2 world wars. And today it could become part of your family's story and your family's history, and you become the new custodian, you become the new guardian of this work of art, and you ensure it lives on for another 500 years. This is very important, I think, to me and to many art historians and to art collectors. This is a timeless classic. This isn't trend driven. This shows class, sophistication, taste, astuteness, all of those great adjectives. Let me go to my screen. I wanted to show you something. Yes, I'm getting carried away. Richard wants me to show you something, and I will do that straight away. I get very passionate about these, Richard. But let's show those comps. Let's go to my screen. So here we have it. We've got 600,000 there. These are the same for what you're bidding on right now. 544, 500,000, 429, 700,000. That's at Christie's, New York. So do we all see now the opportunity you have? Let's come back to our work. The other thing I'm going to show you as well is I did this quick search on Instagram, and I think this is important for everyone to appreciate too, how current and relevant he still is in the modern world. So let's go to my screen. There are over 50,000 references to him. And this is the Triumphant Arch showing in New York at the moment. Let's go back to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity. You have to trust me on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, everything is guaranteed authentic prior to it ever coming in front of me in the auction. And let me show you your certificate of authenticity. Ladies and gentlemen, Albrecht Dürer, this one is the Resurrection. Ladies and gentlemen, Albrecht Dürer, woodcut in black ink with extensive hand colouring on laid paper. It was executed by Virgil Solis, 1514 to 1562, and it's after the design of the great Albrecht Dürer. It is monogrammed on the block. John, we have not received a bid. I thought, well, I should open it between $15,000 and $20,000 in any other auction. I will start it under 10,000. I thought, you know what, I'll start it under 5. I'll cut it in half at 2,500 just to open the bidding. It's from 1550. You do not find these, ladies and gentlemen. It is the most powerful and famous piece of Dürer. It is the Resurrection with the German text on Zaverso as published, and it is extremely rare. I'm going to put up a 3-minute clock, and ladies and gentlemen, if I don't see a bid in the next 2 minutes, I will pass the piece out. It's your opportunity. I can't bid for you. You have to pick up the phone, 866-518-5933, and ladies and gentlemen, it is going to sell. If there's only one bid, you will win. Here's Lucy.
Yeah, you know, Richard, this is something very special. I mean, the hand colouring on this work would have most certainly been applied in the 16th century. Each impression is therefore slightly different, making every surviving example unique. And woodcuts like this were revolutionary. You know, they allow great works of art to be reproduced and circulated widely at the time. It was the only way, when most people would never have the opportunity to own an original painting. So dignitaries, these would have hung on the walls of dignitaries who wanted to impress their visitors. Dürer was one of those artists who elevated the woodcut from a practical printing method into this respected artistic medium. Now, if we go back to my screen, you know, he was also known for some very famous works. Praying Hands is one of them. Look at the extraordinary detail there. It's incredible. And you know, artists just would dream of being able to paint like that today. And this is what I was trying to show you, you know, this gigantic woodcut that was commissioned by the Emperor Maximilian at the time, and Dürer was his private artist really, and this is the Triumphant Arch. And you know, you can see the joy that people, when they're seeing these works, like, wow. And this is also a really great, huge woodcut. So, you know, this is just an amazing thing to own and to hang in your home. You know, people pay to go and see Albrecht Dürer. Let's come back to our work. Various museums around the world, but you will have one in your home. So let's just now go back to my computer and let's have a look again at those museums, what you would see at auction if a piece came up for auction and you went to Christie's New York, for example. That's how a woodcut is created. On the right is the inked woodcut block, and then we have on the left in the print. He is, of course, in the Louvre. Albrecht Dürer is in the Louvre. You wouldn't expect anything less. This is an artist who's left this huge, great legacy in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We've got these auction results here: 600,000, 429,000, 700,000. Christie's New York. That was in 2024. That was only 2 years ago. And I'm hoping this is giving you a little bit of confidence to start bidding and to realize the opportunity that you have right now to own something very important of huge magnitude and significance. This is one of those pieces, as I've said, it's not trend driven. This is a true classic. It's a sophisticated work of art. It's one of those pieces that collectors will covet. It's a piece of art that you would find in these prestigious galleries around the world. There is that Triumphant Arch, not on view at the moment. That's not unusual because it's got to be preserved. Let's go back to Richard.
3-4 is bid. 3-4. John, did you say New Jersey in the lead? 34. 34 with our New Jersey bidder. Now, New Jersey and everyone else. I'm going to do something I shouldn't do, but I'm going to do it. John, would you bring in the second piece? I was going to sell it separately, but I think these belong together. They should stay together. Ladies and gentlemen, so if you're really interested in this type of work, I'm now going to give you the second piece included in the bid. So one bid will acquire them both. One bid will acquire them both. They're both from 1550. The next piece, let's go to the certificate of authenticity. John, they're selling, and Red Banner, one bid acquires them both. There we go. Let's look lively. Here we go. Albrecht Dürer, Christ appearing to his mother. It is the woodcut. I'm including it with the resurrection. I'm including both pieces. Ladies and gentlemen, so it's not high bidder's choice. You're getting both of them. One bid acquires them both with New Jersey. With New Jersey, 35 is bid. Now at 3-5 bid. Woodcut with New York. It is in black ink, a New York, New Jersey bidding war. Here we go. Let's have an auction. Now the pair of these, John, I could easily see them selling somewhere around 50,000 for the pair in a major international auction. I would not be surprised if they reached $50,000 for the pair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they should stay together. I'm making sure they stay together because one bid acquires them both. Executed by Virgil Solis, 1514 to 1562. One bid acquires a pair. You're getting them both for the same money. After the design of Dürer monogrammed on the block, printed in 1550 with a German text on the verso. Ladies and gentlemen, I will give you now a final 1 minute. 1 minute only, and ladies and gentlemen, it's about to sell, and 37 is bid. 1 minute clock, final call for bid. One bid acquires them both, Lucy. Can you believe that? Both hand-coloured, both from 1550. Here's Lucy.
No, I can't believe it, Richard, and I really hope that everybody who's watching realises what an opportunity you've got right now, because from a collecting perspective, let me just point out a few things to you. And also remember too, if you just love them, that is the only reason you should be focusing on, and just get on those phones and just know you're getting an incredible deal right now. But what we're looking at here is work by a foundational figure in Western art, not just one, two of them, because we've got Dürer and we have Solis. And then you've got something that originates from the early 16th century as well. They physically survive today. There's this strong sense of intimacy in prints like this as well. They draw you in and they really reward you for looking at them closely. You'll see the beautiful, glorious trademark monogram of Albrecht Dürer, for example. And and he is an artist who understood branding way before anyone really understood it in the modern day, and so I just love all of these things that uncover themselves to you when you're looking at these works by a master like Albrecht Dürer, and he is regarded as one of the greatest artists of all times. And remember, this isn't a modern reproduction. This is the real deal. This is authentic. This was created in 1550. I mean, I think whether you collect old masters, religious art, or simply appreciate owning something that has traveled through almost 5 centuries of history, works like this most definitely becoming increasingly difficult to find. So take advantage. Let's go back to Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, I'll give you 1 minute with me now. 1 minute with me only. 1 minute, final call for bids. 4-3 is bid. Let's find out where they're from. At 43 with Ty. At 43, on sale and with you. At 40, you are getting them both, ladies and gentlemen. I thought one of these would make somewhere between 10 and 12,000. I should really open them about 15,000 each, ladies and gentlemen. So it's unbelievable. You're getting both of them at 43, at 43, 44. 44 is bid at 44. Nice to see you, Michael. At 44, 44. Where are they from, Michael? At 44, 44. Alabama, thank you. At 44 bid. At 44, Alabama in the lead. At 44, it's on sale. You got 30 seconds with me now. At 44 with Alabama for the pair. At 44, at 44, got a bit of 4-4 bid. At 44, and the hand-coloured works from 1550, from the design of the master of the Northern Renaissance, At 44, it is your bid. At 44, are you bidding? Anyone else, yes or no? At 44, we're going to move on. At 44, and it's selling now. At 44, bid. At 44, 45. 45, 45, back with New York at 45. 45 is bid. Alabama, you're the underbidder now. At 45, where's New Jersey? At 45, next to New York, Richard. Thank you. At 45. At 45, going to bid a 4-5. At 45, I'm bid. At 45, I'm bid, and I'm selling. It's on sale with you. At 45, is there another one to move on? At 45. At 45, going to bid a 4-5, 4-5 bid. At 45, and I'll take another one. Michael, are you bidding yes or no? At 45, you've got to be quick. Last chance, last call. Final call for bids. At 4-5, I'm bid for the pair. You're getting the pair. At 45, I'm bid. At 45, both hand-coloured. I'll just explain to you before I drop the hammer what you're about to miss out on, ladies and gentlemen. I've got 45 is the final bid at the moment. At 45, this man was the equal to Leonardo da Vinci. Northern Europe, you had Albrecht Dürer. Southern Europe was called the Italian Renaissance. You had Leonardo da Vinci. So the top artist in Europe was Albrecht Dürer. In Southern Europe was Leonardo da Vinci. Hopefully that helps. I'm about to sell. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on sale and we're at 46. I'm bid the pair. At 46, let's find out where they're from. At 46 is bid. At 46, and they're on sale. Ladies and gentlemen, they're hand-coloured. Both of them from 1550. I cannot believe it. I think 25,000 would be low for these. So anything under 15,000 for these is being given away. On sale with you then. Last chance, last call. I'm selling. The gavel's high at 40. Did you say Florida? Nevada. Nevada. Thank you very much. Nevada going once. Going twice, thank you Alabama, thank you New York, thank you New Jersey. But Nevada is in the lead. Last chance, last call, gavel's high, sold and gone. Well done, Nevada. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're back to about our normal time that we start the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us early this morning. We'll be doing the same again tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, I better not enjoy the England game too much later on in the World Cup. England are playing Norway, and so a big game for us, ladies and gentlemen, the quarter-final of the World Cup. So, for any English people out there who happen to be watching the show, enjoy it. Norway too, they're a great team. They've got a great striker. So if you've enjoyed the World Cup, tune in and watch that game. And then Argentina are playing afterwards with Switzerland, so that should be an interesting game as well. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we continue the show, and we got about an hour and 3/4 with you now of fantastic artwork coming your way. And what could be better than an American art icon, ladies and gentlemen? It is going to be, this is actually lot number 2. I reserved this for our usual start time, just so that the majority of you could have the opportunity to witness them and bid on them. So these are very special pieces. They're screen prints in colour on museum board, and they're from the Campbell's Soup Suite, and they were created by Andy Warhol together with Sunday Be Morning in Switzerland. And we just mentioned Switzerland. They're in the quarter-final playing tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, they do everything really well over in Switzerland. And the quality of these are absolutely phenomenal. If you look at the top and the bottom of these, they actually have like the aluminum or aluminium finish. Aluminium we say in England, don't we, Lucy? Aluminum finish, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. Wonderful piece. A great work from the Sunday Be Morning edition. I'll just show you on these, ladies and gentlemen. On the back you'll see fill in your own signature. Now that was a joke, if you like, by Warhol. He wanted he thought your signature is worth just as much as these, and they were published by Sunday Be Morning under license from Warhol in Switzerland. They're magnificent pieces. Warhol even considered that the quality of the finish was better than the ones finished in his own studio in New York, which was called The Factory. So a very famous art studio called The Factory in New York. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an iconic piece, the Campbell Soup series by Andy Warhol. Let's just start this, John, very, very low at only $500 on the Warhol. And let's hand it over to Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Andy Warhol, major deal. This is a big piece by him. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Sunday Bee Mornings. And as Richard quite rightly said, the quality of these is considered to be far superior than the works that he created in his own studio, The Factory. Yet, they are all in the Catalogue Raisonné, his official catalogue for all of his authentic works. And that is major, and I'm pointing that out early so you all understand that by virtue of acquiring this work of art, you are actually acquiring a work of art that is in the authentic catalogue, the catalogue where every single piece ever done by him is recorded, and any artist, a major artist, has a catalogue raisonné. So it's really important. And when Richard comes to show you the certificate, he will show you the references. I'm going to show you those references on comps that I have, comparisons, prices, auction results, so you can see that this indeed is a reference piece and how important the Sunday Bee Morning works are. So with that said, let's go straight to my screen. So we can see that even though he has left the planet for many, many years, he died in 1987, he's still number 6 world ranking. And the primary marketplace is the United States, which is where you would go to acquire works like these. And his iconic pieces are these. It's the flowers, Marilyn, and of course the soup cans. Soup cans is really where it all began for him. This is where he started the pop art movement, and everybody was in shock when they were first put on display. But once they got over themselves, including the art world themselves, everybody started to realize that he was onto something. And we know what happened. He became a major, major deal. First original that ever went to auction by him, 17 million back in 1998, Sotheby's, New York. And then we come to the modern day, 2022, Christie's, New York. That one achieved 195 million, everyone. And what that did, it had this complete domino effect on anything by Andy Warhol that was created and authenticated by him, which obviously we're talking about exactly what you're seeing right now. Now, let's have a look at this result. We've got a Sunday Bee Morning. Can you see Sunday Bee Morning right there? It's a silk screen in colours, screen print, silk screen, it's the same. It just depends which country you're in. We saw the results, sorry, 74 million there. Sorry, 74,000, getting carried away with the millions. Another one there, Sunday Bee Mornings, 31,000. For sale at 36,000. So now can you see the opportunity that you have? And when we talk about the Sunday Bee Mornings, they are incredibly respected within the art world. You know, it is an echo of Warhol's legacy. That's what he's left behind, the Sunday Bee Morning. And the fact that he did hand over the original negatives, the original colours, the exact processes to his friends in Belgium during this heated debate when he was on holiday with them, and said, let's do it. Let's just create works of art that people can sign on the back. And then when he got home, he regretted it. He tried to renege on that deal and wasn't able to, which is why he reluctantly agreed to them being included in the Catalogue Raisonné. These soup cans are in every major museum, modern museum around the world, and this is what I want to show you ahead of Richard showing you the certificate. You can see I've highlighted it there, Feldman and Shellman 2.49. You will see that on the certificate that Richard's going to show you in just a few moments. And this is a work that was created in the factory. 65,000 that achieved at Christie's in the United Kingdom back in 2022. So now the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to bid on this one, all right, which is exactly the same, if not better, than this particular piece? Or are you going to let's come back to our work, let this opportunity pass you by? One thing I will tell you, anybody who walks into your home, your office space, reception area, wherever it might be, hotel, will instantly recognize that as an Andy Warhol. And you will be able to tell them that this is a work that is in the official catalogue of authentic works by Andy Warhol. And to me, that tells me everything. And it is a massive reassurance and an incredible thrill to own something like this and hang it in your home. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, well, only one bid so far. Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Karen. 600 is bid. 600 is bid. Andy Warhol, screen print in colour on museum board. It is Beef, the beef soup by Andy Warhol. This is an iconic image, and this was created in Switzerland, ladies and gentlemen, from the Campbell's Soup series #1. It is catalogue referenced, and ladies and gentlemen, the catalogue reference is FNS 2.49, and it is screen print in colour on museum board, not on paper, actually created on museum board. It's after the original. It's stamped, as I showed you right at the beginning, and published by Sunday Beam Morning. It also has the graphics saying, fill in your own signature, which was part of the deal that Warhol insisted that must be on the piece, because it was his own personal message to the public and collectors around the world. Your signature is just as valuable as mine. But my advice, unless your name is Andy Warhol, I wouldn't sign it. Just my advice as a collector. From the Sunday Beam Morning edition, published in Switzerland. It is the Campbell's Soup edition, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a great opportunity to own this. I've only had one bid so far with Karen, and it is $600. John, where are they from, please?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, good morning. And ladies and gentlemen, I will give you a 3-minute clock, and it's going to sell. So ladies and gentlemen, your last chance now. 3 minutes with Lucy, and the best of luck.
We're melting here, Richard, over in England in our heat wave. Let's just go over to my screen again, because I just want to really confirm to everyone what you just saw on that certificate. So you saw the certificate that's got that reference, that all-important catalogue reference, and there it is again. So just so we're all reassured, and you know exactly what you're bidding on. But let's come back to our piece. Now, what's fascinating about the soup cans is that is where it all began for Warhol. Before the Marilyns, before celebrities, he was taking something as ordinary as a can of soup. Why did he choose a can of soup? Well, he had been working for Glamour magazine for 10 years in New York City, and he became, you know, a little bit disillusioned, and he was talking to a friend and said, you know, I really want to develop my own art, and but I just don't know what to do. And she said, well, I'll give you an idea. But she wasn't proud. She said, but you're going to have to pay me for the idea. So he said, okay. And she said, I think you should paint things that you know. And he had soup, Campbell's Soup, every single day for lunch. So he decided to buy every single can and paint them. And that's what he did. Put them in an exhibition. Only one of them sold for $1,000. His art dealer bought that back from the person who actually purchased it, and we know what happened. A few years later, they were sold in their entirety for millions and millions and millions. But the point is, this is iconic. This is what we would want in an Andy Warhol. We want the iconic works of art, the Campbell's Soups, the Flowers, the Marilyns. They all are just special in their own right. It truly is, I think, a masterpiece. It is iconic. It's part of your American history as well. And the soup cans are considered to be the foundation of pop art. Without them, you don't get Warhol as we know him. It's as simple as that. Back to you, Richard.
Well, I've still only had the one bid. So, North Carolina, it looks like it's your lucky day. Final call for bids now. You've got 1 minute with me and 1 minute only, ladies and gentlemen. Final call for bids. I cannot believe it, John. We've only had one bid on this. Oh, my goodness gracious. I guess we got everyone up too early this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, including Lucy, but she's looking very, very well. Take another 50. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Anyone else? Final call for bids. North Carolina, looks like you've got it. It looks like you've got it. North Carolina, I'm selling now. Take another 50 to move on. You've got to be quick if you want it. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, last chance, last call. You've got 30 seconds with me, and 30 seconds only. Anyone else, yes or no? You've got to be quick if you want it. Last call. 20 seconds to go. 20 seconds to go. Anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no? I'm selling now. I'm selling now. It's about to go. On sale and with you. 7 bid. Thank you. 700 bid. At 7, going to bid at 7 at 7 bid. At 7 bid. At 7 bid. bid. 750 with Darren. 750. At 750. At 750, and I'm selling now. At 750. 750. 8 is bid. Thank you very much, Karen. 800 bid. 800 bid on the Warhol. At 800 bid. 800 bid is at 50 now. 800 bid. 800 bid. 850 with Darren. 850 on sale and with you. On sale and with you. 850. I'm selling now. 850. Is there another one to move on? You've got to be quick if you want it. 850. I'll take another 50 to move on. You've got to be quick. I am selling now. I am selling now. Best and final bids. Best and final bids. Well, I thought this would make easily $3,000 here this morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is very low. If you get this under 2.5, you've done well. Under 2 is unheard of. But ladies and gentlemen, to get it under 1,000 is absolutely suicidal in an auction. I am selling it now. It's on sale and with you. It's going to go. Don't miss out on it. Last chance now. Take another 50 to move on. Come on, give me your best and final bid. Give me your best and final bid. I'm selling now. On sale and with you. Last chance, last call. Last chance, last call. Lucy, your opinion. I'm about to sell this. This is unbelievable. I've never seen one of these sell at this level. Have you ever seen one, my dear? Over to you. I'll give you 30 seconds. It's make your mind up time. I'll see you on the phone. Lucy, what are your thoughts? I'm selling it now.
I mean, my thoughts are wow. I mean, honestly, I'm astounded we haven't got more bidding going on in this one, because from a collecting perspective, this is where you step into the origin story of one of the most important artists of the 20th century and still in the 21st century. I mean, this is an artist that draws the crowds, has the record 195 million for one single painting. This is your chance. Let's go back to Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's selling now. It's going once. I'm selling twice, third and the final time. Sold, and we move on. Congratulate your bidder there. You did very, very well. Thank you for your best and final bid. You did well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay with Andy Warhol. I'll leave the suit there, John, for a second. And let's just show you the size comparison of our next work, because this is a beautiful, beautiful piece. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the Flowers, also by Andy Warhol. I just wanted to show you the size comparison of the piece. And ladies and gentlemen, so we're offering the Flowers now. This is a screen print in colour on museum board. A very, very valuable piece indeed. It's from the Sunday Beam Morning edition. I'm going to show you the certificate of authenticity. Have we got the right one here? Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look. And there is the catalogue reference, Flowers by Andy Warhol. Screen print in colour on museum board after the original. Stamped and published by Sunday Beam Morning, and fill in your own signature. The same method from the Sunday Beam Morning edition, published by the one and only Sunday Beam Morning in Switzerland, together with the Andy Warhol Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got a great chance to own it. Once again, got everything that Warhol demanded to be on the piece. This is a much larger work of art, obviously. That will brighten up any room. Ladies and gentlemen, it's fantastic. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll just leave that there for a second, just so you can see the size comparison. But we are bidding on the Flowers. I'll start it at 500. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you a 3-minute clock with Lucy. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, again, we know that this is iconic. This is exactly what you would want from an Andy Warhol. But let me just tell you the story behind the Flowers, because there is one. I think before we do that, let's just first of all go to the auction results of Sunday Beam Mornings and remind anyone who's just perhaps switched on the channel. Let's go to my screen. So we know that Sunday Beam Mornings, you know, they have enormous value attached to them. One went through auction there at 74,000, another one at 31,000, one for sale at the moment at 36,000. So, and written about as well. You know, they're very respected, the Sunday Beam Mornings, and they are considered to be a legacy that has been left behind by Andy Warhol, and they use the exact processes and negatives which were provided by Warhol. Let's come back to our work, and they are in the catalogue raisonné. So now, with all of that said, let's talk about the Flowers, because the flower paintings were created in the summer of 1964. How they came about was like this moment of reinvention. He'd been asked to create some works for an exhibition, and he created weirdly, you know, some mug shots. He did a series of mug shots based on police photographs, but he showed them to the art gallery and they said, no, they're too dark, too harsh and not right for the upcoming exhibition. Go away and think of something else. So one of his greatest champions was this guy called Henry Geldzahler, and he was a champion of pop art. And he said, too much death, too much disasters. You know, it was all Marilyn, disasters, death. How about this? And he opened up a magazine of a photograph. It was a photography magazine. And they were a picture of these now iconic hibiscus. And that in itself sparked controversy because he almost lifted that image by that photographer and he started creating these incredible flowers. Now, let's go to my screen again and see that these are in all of the, again, the MoMA, the Modern Art Museum there in New York City. They are in, that is that first exhibition that he created on the streets of New York, and then they went to one of the most influential galleries in New York, which was Leo Castelli. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but we need to go over to Richard. Back to you, Richard.
Well, Lucy, very, very disappointing. The flowers. John, what's the record? When we've not this version, but we've had different colour variety. Was the top bid 7,000? I remember on the show previously, 7,000 plus buyers premium on the same size piece on our show. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the show's been running for nearly 20 years now, isn't it? On international television, on American TV, on Australian television, British television, and very soon to be in other territories as well. So 7,000 was a fair bidding price for that piece. Ladies and gentlemen, I've started it at 500 to get the auction going. Now, I don't know what's happened this morning. I think the early start must have upset some of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you one last chance. If there are no bids, John, let's take it out. Let's move on with something else. 500, ladies and gentlemen, you've got 1 minute. If I don't see a bid, we're going to move on. Here's Lucy, 1 minute only. Here we go.
Okay, so today, now remember the story I was telling you. So this was this moment of reinventation for him, really. He threw away an entire sort of view almost to create these works of art. And now his flowers are loved for their optimism, simplicity, visual punch. And it is all about visual punch, isn't it, in our homes? We want something that makes a statement. Imagine this in your home. And what I'm going to tell you too is that frame is at least $1,000. I know they are, because sometimes they get damaged in transit, not by us obviously, and we have to replace them. So that frame is $1,000 and you're only at 500. But beneath the beauty of these, it's a classic Warhol twist. You've got that even nature becomes this mass-produced image. Remember, he was all about mass production. Warhol has turned something soft and organic into a mechanical, modern and deeply pop piece. And he would create these in all of different colorways. Let's go back to my screen and I can show you exactly that. I'm going to show you as well that reference, very important, that's on that certificate is exactly the same. There it is to 6.6473. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, well, I've had one bid and one bid only, and it's with the lovely Tawana. Ladies and gentlemen, $550. It's on sale. I'm selling now. I'll give you 1 minute with me. Final call for bids. Final call for bids. 1 minute clock. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling now at $550, and it's going with Tawana. At $550, I'm bid. At $550. $550, I'm bid at $550. Unbelievable. Only one bid on this. Unbelievable. I've sold this for 7,000 on the show before. $550 I'm selling. $550, $550 it's going then. At $550 I'm bid. At $550, come on. America, wakey, wakey. You can't still be making the eggs and bacon. Come on, it's time for the auction, you know that. At $550 bid, $600 I've got now. Okay, someone else is awake. At $600 bid, $600 bid and bid now with Ty. At $600, $650 bid, $650, 7 is bid, thank you, more like it now. At 7, gonna bid a 7 bid, $750. At $750, $800 bid, $800 bid, $800 bid, $850 bid, $850 on the flowers, $850 I'm bid, $850, $850 bid, $850 850, 99 bid. Thank you very much. Good to see you, Darren. At 9, get a bit of 99 bid. At 9 bid. At 9 bid, it's on sale and with you. At 900 bid. At 900 bid, and it's selling and going. 950, thank you. 950, Tawana's bid. 950, 1,000 now. 1,000 bid. 1,000 bid. I'll take another one to move on. Best and final bids now. At 1,000 bid. At 1, get a bit of one on the beautiful flowers by the one and only Andy Warhol. At 1,000 bid, is there 1,100 to move on? John, you've got to be quick now. Let's go. It's about to sell. It is about to sell. It's on sale with you. I've sold this in the region of $7,700 before on the show. $7,700 it sold for before. 1,000 I'm bid today. At 1,000 bid, is there another one to move on? At 1,000 bid, and it's on sale with you, ladies and gentlemen, about to go. Last chance, last call. Last chance, last call. Is there anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no, on the flowers by Andy Warhol? At 1,000 bid, and it's going once. It is on sale. It is about to go. Fair warning. Fair warning, I'm about to sell it. It's on sale with you now. Going twice. Anyone else, yes or no? Last chance, last call. Best and final bids. About to sell. About to go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is being given away at this level. Going for the third and the final time. The gavel's high. The gavel's high. Sold and gone. We move on. Congratulations. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got beaten up on that piece. My goodness gracious, you're doing well this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a real collector's item coming in the show for you right now. I want to tell you about these pieces as well. We've got a Lifetime Renoir going to come up as lot number 12 this morning. We have the original painting by the one and only Kev. We have the Chargers. We have the Jeff Koons. We've got a lot to do in the next hour or so. But ladies and gentlemen, a great pleasure to bring you in lot number 9. This is a hand-signed, absolutely magnificent work by Salvador Dali. It is called La Fille au Flambeau, and it is an original engraving in black ink. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is sensational. It's a hand-colored original Salvador Dali, hand-signed by the most important Spanish artists. Now, there were 3 of them. One was called Pablo Picasso. The other was called Joan Miró. But my favorite really and truly was Salvador Dali. He was a very colorful character, as you're about to see. This is an original 1968 work. It was published in France in 1968 by Dali, together with Pierre Argelès of the Argelès family. And ladies and gentlemen, they were very important in the work of Salvador Dali. Let's zoom in on the number of this one, then I'd like to see the signature. This one, ladies and gentlemen, you are bidding on was number 85 of only 95 that was created all the way back in the 1960s, in 1968. Let's see that magnificent hand signature. This is signed autograph in pencil by Salvador Dali. That is an original signature there, ladies and gentlemen. And behind it is the blind stamp signature. So the line behind it is called the blind stamp signature, but the pencil over it is the autograph, the original hand-signed autograph of the great Salvador Dali. Ladies and gentlemen, where should I start this? 15,000 would be reasonable, I think, for a hand-colored Dali. There's only 95 of them in the world. Not anymore. How many exist? How many are available for auction? 1 and 1 only for auction in the world today. It's here. It's hand-signed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll start this one. I'll start it under 10,000. I'm going to start it under 5. Let's start it at 3,000 for the hand-colored, hand-signed Salvador Dali.
Salvador Dali is among the most versatile and prolific artists of the 20th century, and of course, the most famous surrealist. Though chiefly remembered for his painterly output over the course of his long career, he successfully turned to sculpture, printmaking, fashion, advertising, writing, and perhaps most famously, filmmaking.
If you go to the Dali Museum in Spain, you'll see a painting called Leda Atomica. There's no brushstrokes. It looks ethereal, doesn't even look real. He would paint with one eyelash, and he would build his own brushes.
Dali was renowned for his flamboyant personality and the role of a mysterious provocateur as much as he was for his undeniable technical virtuosity. In 1926, Dali took a life-changing trip to Paris. He visited Pablo Picasso in his studio and found great inspiration in what the Cubist was doing. He began studying the psychoanalytical concepts of Freud and consequently began using psychoanalytic methods of mining the subconscious to generate imagery. His first serious work of this style was Apparatus in Hand of 1927.
Dali was known for having an extraordinary ego. He truly believed he was destined to be the greatest artist who ever lived.
In 1929, Dali met the French Surrealist poet Paul Eluard and his wife Gala. Soon after this original meeting, Dali moved to Paris and was invited by André Breton to join the Surrealists for the next several years.
He also collapsed in this kind of sadness and melancholy of the other kind of modern school.
I see, so that really you feel that surrealism, having started when you were with it as very gay, has now sunk into melancholy and despair, and that you alone remain as a true representative of it.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, we certainly do bring you some of the most significant works that are out in circulation by some of the most important artists. And Salvador Dali is, as Richard explained, one of those big artists. He was one of the titans of the 20th century and still is today. He is incredibly coveted. And as you can appreciate, I'm sure by now, there's not much left in circulation by this artist. He is no longer with us. He passed away in 1989. And therefore, most of his works have found their way into private collections, corporate collections and museum collections. And I would say that the work that we are now looking at is one of those pieces that is most definitely at that museum collection level, because it's hand-signed, because it is from one of Dali's most interesting literary suites. This is directly translated. The Loves of Cassandra was created in 1968, was published, as we know, by the very famous Aguilar family, and it is a very important piece, and it consisted of only 10 original dry point etchings, which is what we're looking at here, all hand signed by Dali and issued in a very small edition. We know only 95 of these exists. So, you know, this isn't simply a Dali print, it's an original dry point etching, published by the legendary Parisian publisher Pierre Aguillet. And, you know, he worked closely with Dali throughout one of the most creative periods of his printmaking history. Now, if you were to go to any of these modern art museums, let's go to my screen, you would see works very similar to this within those collections. And that's one of his famous museums that was established in his lifetime and is still around today. It's very difficult to find engravings and etchings, and if you do, they're in that sort of 29,000 mark. So there we have one there, small edition again, near to 30,000. And when we look at auction results, we know his originals are spanning anywhere between 9 to 19 million and upwards of 19 million. If the Persistence of Memory ever came up for auction, that would be in that 100, 200 million mark. But this is a really good one to show you how the art market works. Remember, it's all about limited supply and excessive demand, which there is for Salvador Dali. Now, here is an engraving. 25,000, okay, achieved. The estimate was between 12 to 15. It achieved way more than that at 25,000. A year later, the same work achieved 72,500. That's for an engraving by Salvador Dali. You are bidding right now on an engraving by Salvador Dali. Who knows what's going to happen to your work? But I already know that you are acquiring it for way beneath the market price at $3,000 right there. So let's come back to our work. Let's talk about the title. The title on this particular one is The Girl with a Torch. And in literature, a torch often symbolizes love, enlightenment, passion, or inspiration. So Dali, in all of his incredible surrealistic imagination, he was depicting it in a really poetic way. And so as with many of his works, the imagery was deliberately dreamlike. Remember, he was getting himself into this hypnagogic state, not using anything to do that, just literally himself. And then he was creating directly from his subconscious and creating one of these wonderful works of art. And I think the fact that this is a lifetime hand-signed Dali, this isn't a posthumous work, it was published by one of the most respected names associated with Dali's original graphic work. And for anyone who's collecting Dali, that provenance carries real significance. And if you're new to the world of collecting art, that is a massive deal. So you really have got a great eye. Congratulate yourself. Another thing I need to point out to you is that indentation around the outside. We want to see that. That is the engraving. It was created using a copper plate, and Dali, once he had created it and inked it, he would invert it onto a dampened piece of paper with great pressure and force. That creates the indentation. There you've got the signature and the stamp. It is a beauty, this one, Richard. Over to you.
Beauty, and they're showing it's hand coloured as well. 3-5, that's more like it. Rhode Island, good morning. What a lovely place, Rhode Island. Have you been there, John? You need to go. Take the family up there. You deserve a break. Ladies and gentlemen, and I'll even pay for it. 35 is bid. Ladies and gentlemen, lot number 9. Lot number 9, ladies and gentlemen, is the original engraving in black with hand colouring. Beverly's bidding there as well. La Fille au Flambeau. La Fille au Flambeau, ladies and gentlemen, is a double catalogue reference work. Now, the important reference, where you see title there, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see a name saying Field. Field is the name of Albert Field. He was the world's leading authority on the graphic works of Salvador Dali. Now, it has a reference there, 68/2E. Very, very specific. That reference was given to this work at the St. Regis Hotel in New York City, the St. Regis Hotel in New York City, just off 5th Avenue, or on the corner. I've seen it myself. What a beautiful place. Lovely architecture. And Dali would stay there. He would stay there for months at a time. And the great Albert Field would come and meet him, and the pair of them would discuss every single work of art that Dali had created. Albert Field would then catalogue each and every work. Now, they only, John, Beverly would like to bid again, and you're ignoring her. There we go. Original engraving in black ink with hand colouring on Japon paper with embossed signature on the stamp on the lower right. The important thing about this wonderful piece, Asia, and I would love this myself, I'm not saying that as a sales pitch, I am telling you with my hand on my heart, I would love this piece in my private collection. It is hand signed, it is hand coloured by Dali, and ladies and gentlemen, the edition size is very small. It's number 85 of only 95 that were published by the edition Argelais in Paris in 1968. Now, I've already told you about Albert Field. I've just got to show you one more thing before I hand it back to Lucy. Lucy, I would love this myself. Now, I don't even have to look at the certificate. I look at it and I know straight away that is on what they call Japon imperial paper. It's hard for me to show it to you on the screen, but can we try and zoom in? You'll see that it's not a perfect white in the background there. It is like a marbleized finish to the paper. And that is what you call Japon, or Japanese imperial paper. It is silk paper with a rice silk mixture into the paper, and it creates this beautiful effect, and that is what Dali liked to create his work on. He only created 95 of these in 1968. The important thing here is he put his blind stamp, his studio blind stamp in the background. That's that white mark in the background. But over the blind stamp, he's placed his world-famous signature. That is his actual hand signature. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a $4,000 piece. This is in the catalogue of Albert Field. This is the actual Bible of Salvador Dali works. If you're a collector of Dali, you need to get yourself this book. It's called The Official Catalogue of the Graphic Works of Dali, and it is by the gentleman there, Albert Field. There is Albert Field, and he was no longer with us, but he is the world's leading authority. In this book, ladies and gentlemen, you will find the actual image. Your image is right here. So it's in the catalogue. That is the image. But the one they have in the catalogue is not actually as valuable as this one. This one is hand-colored. So you see the coloring in here is all hand-colored. The one in the catalogue is actually just the black and white version. But there were only 95 hand-colored versions, which is noted in the catalogue. It's hand-signed, but the one they've taken the picture of is actually just the black and white image. So the hand-colored one, this actually has gold in it at the top there. Can we look at the top there, Lucy? I can't believe we're stuck at 38. That is actual gold leaf in the piece, Sharon. So it's a very, very rare piece, hand-colored by Dali, included with the hand signature. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a $3,800 piece. If I had it in a gallery, you wouldn't be able to extract it from me for much less than $20,000. I'm going to sell it, and I will give you now only 2 minutes with Lucy. Best of luck.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredibly special work, Richard. You are 100% right, and I hope more and more of you watching are beginning to realise that. You know, the significance of this work is huge, and I want to point out as well that the hand colouring that you're looking at on this particular work is quite unusual because it would have been done by watercolours. So no two pieces are going to be the same. You've got 95 in this series, all hand coloured, and they're all going to be uniquely different. And that's what sets it apart. That's what makes it so incredibly coveted. And then you've got that hand signature, you've got the references. So the provenance on this, and also the assurance you've got that it is authentic, because remember, at the end of his lifetime he was signing blank pieces of paper, which is why it's very important to have works that are in that Field catalogue. Albert Field was the leading authority. As Richard said, they met every single year at the St Regis. Let's go to my screen. Here's a picture of that meeting. It's very, very blurry because it's a vintage shot, but that you can see. And then the signatures, and Dali has done a little bit, you know, on a compliment slip there, I think, for the St Regis in New York. But it's just a wonderful thing. And if we come back to our work, you know, in the retail space, if you were in a gallery that specialised in 20th century art, you would be looking at definitely around that 30,000 mark for this, and upwards, because they are so incredibly coveted. And with Salvador Dali, with Picasso, with Chagall, with Miro, these are the names that everybody wants in the 21st century. These really do set you apart if you have these works in your collection, in your home, instantly recognisable as a Salvador Dali from a very important suite, probably one of his most important, and a very prestigious publisher as well in Arguellet from Paris. And, you know, this is a major, major deal. And it was a 16th century love poem too that these works were based on. And Dali was fascinated by timeless themes of love, beauty and desire. And so in this particular suite, he is reimagining Renaissance poetry through this unmistakable surrealist style that came directly from his imagination. And then you've got that signature, you've got the fact it's limited. It's exciting. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you. 47 with Hunter's bidder. New York. Did you say Hunter? Thank you, New York. 47. How much? 48. And where's your bidder from, please, Beverly? Tennessee. Good morning, Tennessee. 48 is bid. 48 is bid. 5,000. Thank you, New York. 5,000 is bid. 5,000. Would you go 55? 5,000 is bid. Would you go 55? 5 is bid. 5,000 with New York. 5 is bid. 5. Would you go 55? 5 is bid. 5 got a bid at 5, I'm bid at 5, got a bid at 5, I'm bid at 5, I'm selling at 5 bid. 1 minute clock then, final call for bids. 5 minutes is up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm selling now at 5. Got a bid at 5. I'm bid at final call for bids now. To bid, all you got to do is call that toll-free number 866-518-5933. It's permanently on the screen. Toll-free number permanently on the screen. There we go. I'm bid 5,000 in New York, and I'm selling Are there no further bids now? Charlie, are you bidding yes or no, my dear? At 5,000 bid. It's the last chance, ladies and gentlemen. I have Hunter's bidder all the way from New York and is sailing at 5,250 now with Ty. Let's find out where she's from. At 5 1/4. At 5 1/4 bid. 5 1/4. New York is up to you. At 5 1/4. 5 1/4. I'm tempted to sing. It's up to you, New York. At 5 1/4. At 5 1/4 bid. 5 1/4. 2 New York bidders. Thank you. At 5 1/4 bid. At 5 1/4. I got Ty's bidder in the lead. Up 5,250. 5,250. Hunter. Final call. I'm selling now. 5,250. Last chance. 5,5. 5 1/4. Going once. 55. I'm bid. Thank you, Hunter. 55. Thank you to our New York bidder there. 5,5 is bid. 5,5 is bid with our New York bidder with Hunter. At 55. Ty, your New York bidder, would they like to bid again? 5,5 is bid. There's only one of these in the world for sale by auction. 5,750. A new bidder with Michael now at 5,750. 3 of you in it. At 5,750, give me 6,000 to move on. At 5,750, 6,000 I have Hunter. 6,000 New York. 6,000 Michael, are you bidding? At 6,000. 6,000 I've got Hunter in the lead from New York. Tennessee, would you like to bid? 6,000 is bid. 6,000 and I'm selling the hand-coloured. Listen to my words, Sejong, one final time. Hand-coloured, hand-signed, authenticated, original Salvador Dali from 1968. I am selling now at only $6,000. 62.50 is bid. 62.50 is bid. 6 1/4 bid. 6 1/4. 6 1/4 with Darren. Thank you. 65 now with our good friend at 65. 65 is bid. 65 back with Hunter and New York at 65. 65 is bid. 65 is bid. I'm selling. 65 is bid. Thank you. 65 I've got. 65 last chance, last call. 65, 65 only on the beautiful hand-coloured, hand-signed Dali. At 6.5 going to New York. Once, twice, sold and gone. Congratulations, New York. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do something crazy now because we took a long time on that last piece. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a limited edition work from 1964. It is absolutely magnificent. Now, I typically sell this piece, I'll be honest with you, in the auction anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500. Is that fair, John? 1,000 to 1,500. I'm going to do this. Oh. John, you might want to go and have a coffee or something while I say this. I'm going to sell this, Asia. I'm the first person to call in on the 1964 Dali. I'm going to do this. First person to call in. It's an original from 1964 from the Divine Comedy. It's called The Liars. I'm going to do it under 1,000. I'm going to do it under 900. Under 800. First person to call in, I'm going to do it. Don't know how I'm going to get away with it. Anyway, I'm going to do it. 600, ladies and gentlemen, plus the buyer's premium. 600, first person to call in on the 1964 Divine Comedy. Let me show you the certificate of authenticity very, very quickly. And ladies and gentlemen, first person to call in now. All you got to do is call that toll-free number. First person to call in, 866-518-5933. It's called The Liars. It's catalogue reference. I'm just doing this to save some time because we took a long time on the last piece, ladies and gentlemen. That just sold at over $6,000. I am selling this at only $600. It's 1964. It's the original woodcut engraving in colour, printed on BFK Reeves woven paper. First edition, 1960 to 64, published by Edition des Arts, Les Eclairs at Paris. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got 2 minutes to call in. 2 minutes to call in only. First person to get it, it will go at 600 plus the buyer's premium. Lucy, I'm only doing that to save some time. Here's you. Here's Lucy.
have enough time to talk about this one, everyone, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Right, this is a huge deal. This whole suite took 13 years for Salvador Dali to complete, okay? That's how complex it was. It is considered to be one of the most notable works in history for the sheer magnitude of it and for how long it took, but also the process that was used. Original woodcut engraving. Remember Albert Dürer? It's that woodcut process. And for each work, so for the one that you're looking at right now, 35 blocks would have been used. So you can imagine that's why it took 4 years to create what it has on the certificate, 4 years, between 60 and 64, okay? Now, what it was doing, it was illustrating an ancient poem written in 1320 by Dante Alighieri, which in itself is a literary masterpiece and is still studied today. It's been sent to the moon on titanium sheets because that's how important it is. 14,233 lines, so a lot to work with Salvador Dali. The Italian government wanted to do something special to commemorate 700 years of Dante Alighieri, so they approached Dali. Thought everyone would be very happy. They weren't, because he wasn't Italian. But by this time, Salvador Dali was very invested in it, so even though they didn't want him anymore, he continued. That's the story behind it. This work is from the Hell section. So this is the story of Dante Alighieri, he himself traveling through hell, purgatory, and then paradise, and meeting and reuniting with the love of his life in real life, who had died at an early age, Beatrice. That is the context. Now, let's go over to my screen. There he is. Now, this is the thing I think sometimes we forget. Salvador Dali was the one creating what you're acquiring right now. And using this process, I will come back and tell you more, but let's for now go to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it may have gone. I believe it may have gone. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We're going to have to move on. And John, let's move on. I believe it may have gone, but do call in. Just double check, ladies and gentlemen, if it's available. You're more than welcome. 600 plus the buyer's premium. A giveaway. Definitely gone? What a shame. There we go. First person to call. I always try and help you out if I can, ladies and gentlemen. The next piece we're going to spend a bit more time on because we have a video with it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a magnificent little sculpture, and this was created from the design of Jeff Koons. Jeff Koons, the world's leading selling sculptor today. And ladies and gentlemen, this balloon dog in pink is an iconic image, lot number 11, cold cast resin sculpture after the original, engraved on the bottom, limited edition of only 500 in the world, limited edition of 500, that must be in the graphics as well, limited edition of 500, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a cold cast resin sculpture after the original, engraved on the bottom, lot number 11. Up next, the beautiful, beautiful sculpture. I love this piece of Jeff Koons. Ladies and gentlemen, I start this again, I'll do it at only 500. Let's sell it to the highest bidder. Here we go.
In modern art, famous sculptures inspired by the joyful shape of balloon animals transport us to where imagination merges with reality. These sculptures, with their commanding presence and brilliant colors, capture us, inviting us to linger and see their splendor. Crafted from high-grade resin, imbued with an essence of permanence and an opulent sheen, they juxtapose the ephemeral with the enduring, demonstrating mastery of both material and meaning. These sculptures urge us to consider not just the art itself, but also bigger concerns about existence, beauty, and the influence of human creation. Inspired by a simple enjoyment, these sculptures demonstrate art's tremendous capacity to ignite discourse and create a new view on the world.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Well, we are most definitely steaming through these incredible works of art this morning, and this is a spectacular work, instantly recognizable by the one, the only Jeff Koons, and he is the most successful living artist today. And if you take into consideration inflation, he actually is considered to be more successful, if you can believe it, than Picasso was during his day. So this is a major deal to own a work by this artist. He is firmly considered to be a blue chip contemporary artist, meaning for those of you who maybe are not clear on what that means, blue chip, that his market is established, it's globally recognized and consistently active. I mean, this is an artist that everybody wants right now, and there have been many imitations out there, but this is the real deal, and his work has been collected for decades by major institutions, private collectors, international museums. Of course, we've got a whole list of celebrities that collect his works. But why? Why did he hit it so big? And I think the reason is that he's tapped into this childhood nostalgia. He's taken something that we all associate with childhood memories, and he has just made these really, I suppose, modern, contemporary, iconic, Hilux specified works. You know, just the specification, the skill in creating a sculpture like this. I can tell you something, it took years. And the fact that he's got that beautiful surface on it that reflects us, and I think that's the other appeal to a work by Jeff Koons. We are very fortunate to have these works, you know, on the show, because there are levels of collecting Koons. You've got those life-size works. They are in the millions. So I'm going to show you some auction results on that in a minute. Then you've got the second layer, which is the porcelain, which are very easily breakable. They're fragile. They're around that 40,000. And then we have this level, which is, in my view, the best level, because these are resin, and they are anywhere between 7,000 to 12,000. So, you know, I think, for me, the Jeff Koons balloon dog is iconic. So let's go to my screen and let's just see him in front of one of his balloon dogs. And then what he said is just so true. I've always enjoyed balloon animals because they're like us, we're balloons. You take a breath and you inhale. It's an optimism. You exhale and it's a kind of a symbol of death. This was the the second piece that he put through auction at Christie's, New York. 91 million. No one ever anticipated that. Balloon dog, 58 million. 58 million. Imagine. 46,000 for a limited edition. Remember, these are the ones that are very fragile. I just think I would not dare 46,000 and then you break it, which has happened. And it made headline news, actually, when that happened. And we've got those auction results there. So, you know, 30 million up to 80 million. And there is the iconic balloon dog sculpture in Miami. A visitor broke it. So it makes headline news. And let's come back to our piece. That really is indicative of an artist who is a big name within the art world. He has been well documented in terms of market history, which gives you, if you are going to collect a work by him, it gives you enormous confidence, you know, compared to more speculative, perhaps, or emerging artists, you know, and his work do exist in different price points, from edition pieces to major sculptures, and that allows this broad range of entry into a very established market. So you really do have a spectacular opportunity right now at $500. And his work frequently is in major exhibitions. Let's quickly go to my screen. Here he is, Balloon Dog, at Versailles Palace, and the palace has been known to really bring in these modern artists like Takashi Murakami as well, and bring it into those traditional surroundings, these opulent surroundings, and mix it up, and I think it works incredibly well. All around the world, he's been New York City, he's in Qatar, he's been in the United Kingdom, but let's, for now, go back to Richard. Over to you.
No bids, unbelievably, on this beautiful sculpture. I love this piece. I've actually got this in the chrome silver finish, monochromatic, but I love the pink. What a beautiful piece. Balloon Dog in pink. Let's have a look at the certificate. And it is from the design of the great Jeff Koons, American artist, born in 1955. No bids at the moment, John, so I'm going to put up a 3-minute clock right now. Once again, same rules apply. If there are no bids by the time it hits 1 minute, in other words, in 2 minutes' time, it will go out unsold. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't bid for you, I can't bid for you, I simply won't bid for you. 866-518-5933 is the number. It's always in the screen just above my name there, Richard English, and there is the toll-free number, 866-518-5933. All you got to do is call the number, it's toll-free, get yourself registered. You only have to do it one time, and it takes about 30 seconds, and then you're ready to bid on anything you like. Ladies and gentlemen, so limited edition of 500 from the cold cast resin sculpture. They're a beautiful, beautiful piece. Look at the finish on it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to show you. It's got a nice bit of weight to these, ladies and gentlemen. And there's the edition number. Only 500 were created for the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute beauty. It's 16 inches high, 18 inches across there. So it's a nice large sculpture. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got 2 minutes to bid on it. If I don't see a bid in the next minute, it goes out unsold, Lucy.
Oh dear, I can't believe it's going to go out unsold. That is a tragedy. I mean, seriously, I don't know what people are waiting for, because, you know, this is a major deal. This is a huge artist. And when we're talking about Jeff Koons, a lot of people will say, you know, why? Why did the balloon dog become one of the most iconic sculptures in modern art? Because it has. And I think it's got to do with something that very few artworks achieve. It makes nearly everyone smile when you see it. And I think one of the reasons Balloon Dog became this icon is that it embodies these fascinating contradictions. For example, it looks light, but it weighs a ton. This one most definitely does. It looks soft, but it's made of cold cast resin in this instance. It looks temporary, but it's built to last for generations. And it looks simple, but it required extraordinary skill to produce. And I think the other aspect is the fact that everything is reflected because of that mirror finish. So every person who stands in front of it literally becomes part of the artwork. The room does as well, the people, the light, everything is reflected. So every viewing is different. Richard's going to demonstrate that right now. And apparently Koons has often spoken about wanting viewers, so that's you and I, viewers, by the way, to see themselves without judgment. So if you are looking at it, you're reflected within that piece of art. So you become the art. I love it. I think it's fabulous. And I think that probably is subconsciously one of the reasons why we are so attracted to these works of art. But also I think too, in the modern day, this has become a status symbol. This is, you know, Koons. I've got a Koons in my collection. I own a Koons. You know, people come into your home and they see a balloon dog and you can say, yeah, no, this is a Koons. And he is collected by some of the big deals within the art world, those celebrity collectors like, for example, Steve Wynn. We know how big a collection he's got. But I can't tell you more right now. I've got to go back to the auction. Over to you, Richard.
Lucy, I just thought, you know, how you cuddle a dog. Look at this beautiful, beautiful piece. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes rather lovely with the handkerchief, don't you think? Very nice. Anyway, it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show it to you, how I would display it. I would, as it's meant to be a balloon design, I love these podium. They're just made of acrylic. They're very reasonable to buy. Let's drop the graphics for a second. I want you to enjoy that. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine that in the right spot in your home. I think it's going to look magnificent. I would typically sell these, John, around 3,500. Is that fair? Around 3,500. We're under 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do, get on the phone now. Last chance, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you one final minute to bid on this piece with Lucy. Lucy, what a beautiful piece. What a great way to display them. And again, you can get those acrylic podiums very, very reasonably on the internet. You know, $100, $150, some of them, ladies and gentlemen. So a lovely way to display them. Up to you. But here's Lucy. Final minute, final call for bids.
All right, a couple of things. The market for Koons is obviously very established, so that is such a great big tick when it comes to whether you bid or not. But the other thing I want to tell you is his background. He studied art at the Maryland School of Art in Chicago, and instead of then going on to become a starving artist waiting on restaurant tables whilst his talent emerged, he became a Wall Street commodities trader. And in contrast to, I suppose, the artist of popular imagination, the world of commerce was his natural home. But what he did, he was an artist and he felt no shame about making money. But what he did was studied the market. What did a contemporary artist need to do in order to become rich? And then he did it, and then he nailed it. And there is no doubt he nailed it, because we've seen the auction results to prove it. And you now get a chance to become part of that success story, owning an iconic work by Jeff Koons. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you one last opportunity. You've got 60 seconds with me now. 60 seconds. Final call for your bids. Final call for bids. I try and give you every opportunity to get your bid in. I would typically sell this in the auction for about 3,500. I thought 2 would be low, but we're under 1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to sell it. Last chance, last call. Final call for bids now. It's on sale with you. What a magnificent sculpture. 16 inches high. 18 inches across, got beautiful weight to it. It was a limited edition. He's the highest selling sculptor in the world. On sale with you, and it's going now. I'm selling now, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no? On sale with you. On sale with you. Best and final bids now. Best and final bids. It's got to go. This is being absolutely given away. What a beautiful piece, ladies and gentlemen. Let's zoom in on the image one more time. I want you to appreciate the absolute beauty of that, ladies and gentlemen. It is a stunner, a stunner. 1,000 bid, thank you. One is bid. At 1,000 now, 1,100 to move on. 1,000 bid. At 1,000 bid, another one off anyone. At 1, got a bid of 1, I bid at 1, got a bid of 1. At 1, got a bid of 1. Give me a best and final bid now. Give me a best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no? It's on sale with you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's being given away. If you don't bid now, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. Come on, it's got to sell. It's selling and going once. On sale with you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going twice. At third and the final time at 1,000. It's sold and gone. Sold. Well done. Thank you. There is one more available. Is that correct, John? One more available from the limited edition. Only one, but you've got to call in quick. I'll match the price. I've got to move on just to save some time. But 1,000, I took the bid there. There's one more available if you want it. 1,000 plus the buyer's premium. 1,000 plus the buyer's premium. That is being given away at that level. Lucy, what are your thoughts on that? What a fantastic piece for the money. What a beautiful, beautiful, in my words, beautiful article. An article of beauty, a bit like Lucy. Here she is.
Yeah, I mean, this is a status object or article, if you want to, refer. I think that's a good way of referring to it in contemporary art. You know, his works are instantly recognizable, visually iconic. They symbolize modernity and luxury. And I think, again, that appeals to us at a subconscious level. We might not realize that's why we love them. But look at it. Just look at it now. How stunning it is, how luxurious it is, how modern it is, how high-end it looks. It feels, it has status, it has gravitas. And at the same time, it's really modern, it's playful. And it's exactly what we want in our collections, in our homes. It's going to make you smile every single day. It's going to give you those warm feelings of nostalgia as well. And it is a Jeff Koons. I mean, literally, what more could you ask for? And the fact that we are allowing someone else to buy it now at $1,000, I would not be hesitating. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic. I think you might be lucky if you call in now, but you've got to call in. Someone's going to get it. Someone's going to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to move on. So come to me, please, and come to me for the next piece, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to tell you about our final artist of the day. That will be the fantastic work of our great friend from Germany, Kerfitz, the original painting. We'll be offering the charger as well, ladies and gentlemen. And if I've got time, maybe one little surprise that's just arrived from Berlin, if I've got time. So that's why I try and move the show along a little bit. It's all up to you, how quickly you take to call in, how quickly you bid. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to save some time now. This is a very special piece coming into the auction. It's lot number 12. This is from 1898, that makes it 128 years of age. 128-year-old lifetime Renoir, red banner. 128-year-old lifetime Renoir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called Le Chapeau Épingle. And ladies and gentlemen, what a great, great piece this is. It is the original lithograph printed in Biestra on China paper. John, has the Coons gone? There's one available, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, you've got to call in very, very quickly. That one is still available, but you've got to call in quickly if you want it. 1,000 plus the buyer's premium only, and it is a magnificent piece, the Jeff Koons design sculpture. And ladies and gentlemen, if you come to me, one last chance, then right in front of me, it's still available, but you've got to call in quickly, ladies and gentlemen, very, very quickly on that one, and someone's going to snap it up. It's only $1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on with lot number 12. Here is the Renoir, the original lithograph in Biestra, signed Le Chapeau Épingle from 1898, a 128-year-old lifetime Renoir red banner. Thank you very much. Here's Lucy.
Yeah, this is quite special, Richard, and for everyone watching, this is probably one of his most recognizable and beloved compositions, and it's a very graceful, tender moment that exists not just in print but in 2 museum paintings. This is why it's important, and this is again a timeless classic. You've got that signature right there on the stone, and yes, so signed by the artist on the stone. So this is such an important piece. Now, it offers really the chance to own a work that truly represents the heart of who Renoir was. So it's a rare opportunity to own a piece of art history, a lifetime work. This is a lifetime piece created in 1898. He passed away in 1919. And a lot of what we see in prints are actually created in 1919, the release in the year of his passing, and they had been set aside for that moment. So it's really rare to find a work from 1898. Now, we know that Renoir was associated with the Impressionists. So he's from the Impressionist movement. But his start came as a child when he discovered his talent by painting on the floorboards of his family home, and I love to talk about that because I just think it's so nice. And you know, and then his family sort of, you know, they had discussions about how talented he was, and you know, what should we do with him, and it was eventually decided he should be sent to Paris. Prior to that, he was working in a porcelain factory, and that's where he really learnt that his skill was incredible, and he was really fast. He earned lots of money. At the age of 14, he was able to buy his parents a cottage, and that is why, even though when he became an Impressionist and was using much looser brushstrokes, the faces were always in detail, which is exactly what we see here. Now, if we go to my screen, here is that work hanging in the MoMA. Isn't that wonderful that you're going to own a work that a lot of people are going to go and pay to go to the MoMA to see? I think it really is. And Pierre-Auguste Renoir is on view in all of these major art museums around the world. He is always going to be there. He is, again, what we term a blue chip artist, meaning is he in the museum now, and will he be 100, 200 years from now? Most definitely he will be. And when we look at auction results, we can see here one at 71 million, and that was back in 1990. Works by him do not come up very often. They are rare, and therefore it really does mean you need to seize the opportunity to own a piece. And you can see that the work that we have for you is very much in keeping with his style. Let's go back to Richard and see what's happening in the studio. Over to you.
But ladies and gentlemen, perhaps I should have saved this to be the last piece. It's really, really a very valuable piece. I thought I'd open it for you incredibly low at 4,000. John, how do you value this? This is a lifetime piece. I mean, I've done many auctions over the years, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to go on about it, but 1988 I started doing auctions. It's nearly 40 years. Now, in the 40 years, I've probably done about 6,000 plus auctions. I can't remember now. But this piece, if I had it in one of my collector's auctions around the world, I would expect it probably to make amongst my collectors, $40,000 to $50,000. So I thought I'll start it at about 10% of what it should really make. Now, I would not be surprised if it made over 40,000. It is signed on the stone by the one and only Pierre-Auguste Renoir. It's a very large image. I'm going to measure it for you in a minute. John, we've had no bids, so what I'm going to do, put up a 3-minute clock. Let's go to the certificate. 3-minute clock. 2 minutes to bid. If not, it goes out. And I'll move on with the final artist of the day. Pierre-Auguste Renoir, then, Le Chapeau Épingle. Léjeune was the French master, born in 1841. So remember the years up here. He was born in 1841. He died in 1919, right after World War I. So remember the date, 1919. It is an original lithograph by Renoir. It was printed by him in Bistre, which is, you know, not a coffee color, but it's a similar sort of color on China paper. It was signed by the artist, signed by Renoir. So what he did was he took the original massive limestone. Lucy, if you have a chance, my dear, could we have a little visit to one of the big places like the Merlot Atelier, just to show the bidding public what a lithograph looks like and how it was made. So this was all handmade by Renoir, together with his printers in Paris. It is signed by the artist on the stone. Ladies and gentlemen, I think anything under 25,000 for this is giving it away. So I haven't had a bid. It's an example from the second state. It was executed in Paris in 1898. I have still not got a bid. So ladies and gentlemen, this is 35 inches across, 35 inches across, 41 inches high. I'm going to measure this image for you. Sounds like a bid just came in there. John, where's it from and who and how much? 22 inches across, 22 inches across, and this one, 27 inches high. So 22 inches across, 27 inches high. That is probably the largest Renoir I've had in an auction in nearly 40 years. Now, I know I don't look old enough. Thank you. But nearly 40 years I've been doing this. I've never had a Renoir this size. It has the signature here, created on the massive limestone. I've had one bid only. What was the bid? How much? 41. 41. It's not on the graphics, so that's what we need. 41. Thank you very much, with Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Lucy. Lucy, we have a bid of only 4-1. I've had one bidder, and they bid $100 over the very low reserve I started at. Ladies and gentlemen, there wasn't a reserve, but it's selling to the highest bidder. So if you're the only bidder, Texas, you've done incredibly well. I will give you a further 3 minutes now with Lucy. And ladies and gentlemen, you've got a bid on this. Anything under 25,000 is giving that away. Here's Lucy to explain exactly what you're bidding on.
Yeah, right. Where shall I start? Well, this is probably his most recognizable work, as we know. If I take you to my screen immediately, let's have a look at an auction result here for the same work. We've got a piece here, 60, well, actually with buyer's premium, 74,000. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of the value of these works by him. Then, you know, in today, still really relevant. You know, you do a search on Instagram and look at all of these references to the wonderful artist. So, you know, this shows us that he is an artist who is here to stay. And then we go to the MoMA and we see that work obviously hanging at that, you know, in that beautiful gallery. So, you know, this is, you know, we've got to set the context as to how important these works are and what a timeless classic you will own, right? Now, if we come back to our piece, let me show you exactly what Richard wanted me to show, which was how a lithograph is created. So if you give me a moment, I will take you there. Just wait. Right, here we go. Hold caller. Let's go to my screen. There we have the Merlot studio. So this is exactly what it would have looked like in the days of Pierre-Auguste Renoir. And those, you can see the limestone. So he's creating on these really cumbersome limestone. But that's how lithographs, how prints were created in that day. They don't do it really in this day and age because it's just too complex and difficult. And, you know, these days we want instant gratification. It was an art form within itself. It's a process that you're using to create these works of art. It goes through the printing press. Anything that was used will then be struck through, so no more can be made, and then they go into archive. Let's come back to our work and let's go back to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling it now, and it is the final call for bids on the 128-year-old largest lifetime Renoir I have ever had in an auction, and I'm selling it now. And as I said in other auctions, I'd expect this to make, on a good day, I would not be surprised if it made 40 to 50,000. I'm selling it, and we've only had 3 bids. 43 is the bid. 43, and I'm selling now. Final call for bids. You got 45 seconds. Get your bid in now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm moving on with the final part of the show in a second. At 43, I'm bid. At 43, get a bit of 4-3, and I'm selling. At 43, and you've been a marvellous audience. Thank you for getting up early. At 43, at 43, at 43, 43, 43 is bid. Lucy, it was so early over here in Atlanta. Hair and makeup weren't even available for me this morning. 43, 43 is bid. 43, 43. I know I don't need makeup, but I definitely need hair. At 43, I'm bid. At 43, and I'm selling now. At 43, is there anyone else, yes or no? At 43, and it's about to go. This is unbelievable. 44, I've got New Jersey with Roxy. At 44, I'm bid. At 44, and I'm very surprised on this one. At 45, I got 45 with Michael. Where are they from, Michael? Texas, thank you, 45. At 45 with Texas, New Jersey, come on. At 45, I'm bid. At 45, and it's got to go. I'm selling now. Going to sell. The hammer's about to come down on this unbelievable piece at 45, and it's about to go with Texas at 45. At 45, Darren, are you bidding at 45? At 45, get a bit of 4-5 bid. At 45, at 45, and I'm bid. At 45, last chance. On sale and with you. Fair warning about 46 from 46. Georgia, thank you. 46 bid. 46. 47 with Texas. Thank you, Michael. Good bidding. 47 is bid. 47. 47 is bid. 47 is bid. 47, and I'm selling. 47 going once with Texas. At 47 is bid. I'll give you every opportunity, but you've got to bid now. Yes, 48 is bid. 48, Michael, may I suggest you go to 5,000? Because if you go 4.9, good bid. 5,000 bid. 5,000 is bid. Now 250 bids. That's the reason. Don't go to 49. If they go to 5,000, the next bid is a minimum of 250. So 5 1/4 bid. At 5 1/4 bid. 5 1/4 with Darren's bidder. At 5 1/4. At 5 1/4, take 5-5 now. At 5-5 bid. At 55, got a bit of 5-5 bid. 55 with Michael. At 55 with Texas now. At 55, are you in? 55, I'm selling. 55, anyone else? Fair warning on this piece. I have to move on. 55 and going once. 5-5, I am selling. 5-750 just in time. 5-750. 5-750. Don't lose it, Michael. You've been a good bidder. 5-7. The largest Renoir I've had. You're sure? 6,000. Good bid. 6,000 bid with Texas. 6,000 bid. 6,000 going once. 6,000. Anyone else? 6,250. 6,250, they're in. 6,250 with Darren. At 6 1/4, 6 1/4 bid. At 6,250 on the beautiful Renoir from 1898. At 6,250, would you like 5? 65, and they're back in. Good bidding, Texas. 65 is bid. 65, and I'm selling. Going once at 65. I've got to move on, chaps. 65 going twice at 65. Fair warning, sold and gone. Texas gets it. Well done, Texas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a great opportunity. We're going to now go to our main event. The end of the show features our top artist, living artist that is. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the great pleasure of offering you now the work of the incredible Kef. This is in gold leaf. It's called Silent Blossom #1. It is the first painting in a brand new series called Silent Blossom, and it is the original painting. I've sold his paintings live on the show for just under $70,000. He's just about to break the $100,000 barrier for his originals. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you a chance to own this one. This should be about 40, 45,000 in the gallery now, John?
That's correct.
About 40 to 45,000. Hand signed. I'll start it at 5,000, and that is the original and the first one in a brand new series called Silent Blossom, the original painting. Opening bid 5,000. Let's take it and meet the great man himself, Kef.
Every line, every curve, every color, every breath held and every breath released. Art is created. Every moment spent in Berlin, creating this style. Every moment spent in Shanghai, mastering this style. Every moment of doubt, every moment of joy. Hours painting, years of creating. Harmony, peace, tranquility. With every collaboration, with every exhibition, his name grows.
Sold! California!
Sold it under my...
Sold
Sold at $41,000.
Sold at 63.
With every hammer drop and every piece sold, now is the time for Kef.
What a beautiful original this is. Wow. I'm sure you are also sitting there right now thinking exactly the same thing, and what a wonderful opportunity it is too for you to be able to have this chance to bid on an original, because an original work by Kef, quite hard to find these days, because I think the art dealers and the gallery owners know what they are sitting on and perhaps aren't releasing them as quickly as they should, because, you know, this is a true superstar within the art world. What is the reason for that? I think the reason is he does have wide appeal. It doesn't matter whether you're 8 or 88, we can all understand exactly what he's trying to convey here. He is a street artist, but he doesn't have a message he wants to convey. He just wants you to stop and appreciate where you are now, appreciate that out of chaos can come peace and harmony. And that is what his works of art exude. Whether you realize it or not, I think we are just recognizing that perhaps at a subconscious level. He is taking his inspiration from nature. Nature, we know, works with symmetry. Our eyes really do react very well to symmetry, and his works have symmetry. So I think that's why they kind of tend to slow us down. Just imagine for a moment creating that work of art without doing any preparatory work. He doesn't. He just visually rehearses it in his brain, and then he starts to create. And so, you know, this is coming from inside of him. He said in interviews he can't imagine doing anything else. He has to do it. And in actual fact, he creates to calm himself down. He can't create when he's not calm. If we come over to my screen, I just want to show you what we're talking about here in terms of sold out. It's very difficult to find an original piece. And then 88,000 for an original there, 88,000 for an original work. As Richard said, you know, we've had them on the show for over 70,000, 42,000 for a work there that he's created, just a handbag. And this is where it began for him. It began for him in his own hometown, Berlin. He became first recognised there as an artist, not a vandal, because remember, street art is still vandalism. Came over to the United Kingdom, to London, realised people loved what he was doing, slightly refined it, took out the eyeball, and arrived at what we know and love of him today, and stayed there. Got his first major commission for Urban Outfitters, and Urban Outfitters, that changed everything for him. And it also gave him confidence. He realised people really appreciated what he was doing. He then ended up on the front cover of investment magazines. You know, people were investing in his art. Remember, these big corporations, they have art experts, they have art advisors, and before he knew it, he was working with all of these major brands. Again, they can pick any artist they want. They picked Kef. There's a reason for that. Then he got that massive deal at the Qatar World Cup, and now he's exhibiting alongside Banksy. Let's go to Richard.
A lot of time, and we've had one bid and one bid only. Where they're from, please, John, at 55 is bid. Colorado, good morning. Thank you very much. And we're about to sell this. So I'll put up a 3-minute clock. I've had the one bid, 55 from Colorado. Thank you very much. Around 45,000 in galleries, these pieces. I will take you to the certificate of authenticity for Silent Blossom, #1. It's the first painting in this brand new series. What is the most valuable thing that you can own? The first ever of something. The first ever. This is the first ever painting, original painting in this new series. And he's done it especially for China, for the Asian market. He's about to go on tour, but he let us have this painting. It's come from Berlin, it just arrived. It's the original acrylic painting on woven paper. It is signed by the artist on the lower right. It is a unique work, and it was executed by Kef in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to sell this. What a fantastic, fantastic piece. If you get this under 20,000, if you get it under 20,000, you've done well. And ladies and gentlemen, here is Lucy in a few seconds, but I just got to show you the signature on the back here. Silent Blossom, #1. The first ever painting in his new series, 2026, Simon Rowland. If you get this under 20,000, Lucy, I think you've done very, very well. Look at the gold leaf on it. What a beautiful piece, an original, and it's going to sell. You've got the remainder of the clock with Lucy. Final call for bids. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Richard, this is stunning. I love that he's used gold as well and mixed it with that violet. Let's go to my screen again. He's crossed from art world recognition into cultural relevance. And when major luxury brands are collaborating with an artist, it shows the artist's aesthetic has market power, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Kef. He also is a museum provenance artist, and that is very unusual for a living artist, particularly an artist as young as Kef, but he actually has 2 museum names to his belt right now, collaborating with some really important high-end luxury brands, as we can see. He is featured in major hotels around the world. These are all, of course, major collaborations that he's been approached to do. There he is, somewhere in Manhattan, Printemps in Paris. I know that there's a wall coming up free for him that he's going to be commissioned to paint on. This is in New Orleans. You know, this is a big deal. He's specified quite a lot now in architectural projects. This was a project that Architectural Design magazine featured that he was included in. He is wrapping some really high-end cars as well. Again, they can choose any artist they want. They don't. They choose Kef. This one's still on the streets of Paris. So yeah, it's very exciting, and you will own an original. Back to you, Richard.
7,000 is bid, ladies and gentlemen. I'm selling now. And anything under 20,000, you're doing well. 7,250, 7,250. Thank you, Hunter. At 7,250, at 7,250 is bid. At 7,250, Tawana, you're the underbidder now. At 7,250, I have Hunter's bidder in the lead. At 7.25. Did you? Which state did you say? Thank you. They're both from Tennessee, the bidders. How unusual. 7.25 bid. At 7.25, hopefully it's not a husband and wife. They're in separate rooms. At 7,250. At 7,250. Darling, I bid on this one. So have I. 7,250. 7,250 bid. At 7,250, I've got Hunter's bidder in the lead. Tawana, it's your chance. 7,250. Tennessee in the lead all the way with Hunter. 7250 bid, 7250 and I'm selling, 7250, 7250, 7250 and I'm selling, 7250 with Hunter. Tawana, last chance, I've got to go. 7250 I'm selling, 7250, very low. If you get this under 20,000, you've done well. It's your bidder, Hunter. Going once then. Tawana, yes or no? 7.5 with Tawana. Thank you, Tawana. 7.5. 7.5 is bid. 7.5. How about a power bid, Hunter? 8,000. You might get it. 7.5 is bid. 7.750, new bidder with Ty. Now 8. Now 8. At 7.750. 7.750. Between the Tennessee bidders if you want to go to 8. At 7.750. 8,000. I took Hunter first. 8,000 bid. 8,000 bid. 8,000, Tony, is that, I think this is very low, Tony. 8,000 bid. 8,000 is bid. 8,000 bid. 8,250 with Ty. If you get it under 20,000, you've done well. 8,250 with Ty. 8,250 with Ty. Anything under 20,000, unbelievable. 8,250 and I'm selling. Thank you, Hunter's out. 8,250. Roxy is up to you. 8,250. 8,250. Sorry, Tawana I meant. 8,250. 8,250. Ty in the lead. Selling with Ty. 8,250. Anything under 20,000, you've done well. 8,250. It's going on the original once. 8,250. Fair warning. Going twice. Kim, could you let me know if there's 8,250, any advance, yes or no? If not, it's going at 8 1/4, third and the final time. So, thank you very much. I'm sure it might have made a bit more, but I didn't have time for that later on. So I'm going to do something very, very quickly for you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to bid on these beautiful chargers, ladies and gentlemen. It's lot number 14. It's called Lotus from the Shadow Sea. It is by our wonderful friend Kev. I'd like to just show you how they're made in Italy, if I may, Dave. An original earthenware charger. This is an absolute beauty. I'll just alter the angle just so you don't get that reflection quite so much, but ladies and gentlemen, these are handmade. He's only made 20 for the entire world. They're all hand finished. They're signed and dated on the back. I'm going to show you that in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, it is lot 14, and I'm going to, Red Banner can get rid of that now. Red Banner, and let's go to the video. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll kick this off at only $500 for the beautiful charger. Here is Kev.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this project because, I mean, usually my work is more on a flat surface. And so now I'm very happy that I can do it on a 3D object.
Kev has been working hard to bring you his newest creation. Like the great masters before him, Kev is taking his style to a new medium, bringing his creations to life on pottery.
I think this always changed my work completely, and I think this really suits my work, and each vase which I'm painting on is unique.
Coming soon to the Fine Art Auction, original, one-of-a-kind, hand-painted pottery from Kev.
Yeah, I mean, now this is an opportunity because if you remember and if you followed the history of Picasso, he did branch out into ceramics as well. And we know what happened to those ceramics later on after he passed. You know, they really are incredibly collectible. And we're not quite sure how many times or how many of these that Simon will actually create, because they are difficult to do, and you are working with obviously ceramics, you're working with the Morandi Studio in Italy, so it's such an incredibly high-end project. Morandi Studios, their latest project is the Four Seasons yacht. They're creating all of the beautiful ceramics within that and the artwork, and it's just stunning. So they only work with special artists. and they worked with Kef. Now, these chargers, for me, I think are just the most beautiful thing ever, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you, hopefully, some inspiration. Just really quickly before I go back to Richard, just let's go to my screen and then we'll go to Richard. Look how nice they can look, everyone. Back to you, Richard.
John, I just had to point out very, very quickly, because I don't think Lucy saw it there, but you are bidding on the #1 artist proof, #1 of only 20 in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a collector's item par excellence. And now back to Lucy. I'll give you 2 minutes with Lucy, and let's see those beautiful framed examples. What a great way to present them. Over to Lucy.
Yeah, so this is an artist proof, and it's the first one of the artist proof. Remember, everyone, that artist proofs, traditionally the artists will keep them to themselves, and it's almost like their archive. And very occasionally they'll release them into the public domain. More often than not, they just give them to friends and family, or they use them as payment for things, you know. So it is really nice to have an artist proof, and it's doubly nice or triply nice to have the #1. Now let's go back to my screen and have a look at the way they can look in your home. I just think they are magnificent. They are exquisite, these works. And you can have them in various configurations. On their own, I think they make such a statement, don't they? Absolutely wonderful. Incredibly different. I think that is why he's been so successful, is he has set himself apart from absolutely everybody else in the art world. And he has created works of art that really speak to us. And he has said, you know, he just wants to bring harmony into the world, and he is doing that. And I know that many people have approached him. He went on a massive tour of the United States, and I think he visited nearly every single state in America and had an exhibition. And people would travel from far and wide to go and see him and talk to him and tell him of their stories and how much they enjoy his artwork, how it's helped them, inspired them, you know, brought them out of a dark place, whatever it might be. There is the one that you're bidding on right now in its own frame, and you can get these framed. Talk to the team actually about that whilst you're bidding. But I just think they're spectacular, and they work in any environment, whether it is traditional, whether it is contemporary, whatever it might be. They're going to work in your home, and they are stunning works of art in their own right. And as well, they are ceramics created by the world famous Morandi studio there in Italy. Just look at them. Spectacular, aren't they? So let's come back to our piece and let's go back to Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling now at 1,500. Your bid, Michael, at 1,500, at 1,500 bid. I'm selling now the #1 artist proof. 1,600 I have with Michael. Thank you. 1,600. 1,600 with Michael now at 16 is bid. On the #1 artist proof, 17. The other Michael now, Mike in studio, 1,700. At 1,700. At 1,700 is bid. 1,700. Michael was first. 17 is bid. 1,700 is bid. 1,700. Michael's first. 1,700. 1,700. 19 with the other Michael at 1,900. 1,900 is bid on the #1 artist proof. At 19, 2,000 I've got with Michael now. At 2,000 bid. 2,000 bid. 2,000 bid, and it's selling. The #1 artist proof in the world is going now at 2,000 bid. 22 with our Michael here at 22. 22 is bid. 22, and I'm selling. At 22, got a bit of 2-2 bid. At 22 bid. At 23 bid. 23 with Michael. 23 the other Michael. Bit confusing, but we have two Michaels. 23. 23. It's Michael, not you, Michael. It's the other Michael. 24. At 24. At 24, got a bit of 2-4 bid. At 24. At 24 bid. At 24 is bid with our Michael here. At 24. 24 is bid. 24 bid. 24. Ty, you have to come up, my dear. 24. 26. 26 with Michael. 26 with Michael, and is going to sell now at 26. 26, Michael in studio, yes or no? Stay on the line. 26 is bid. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on sale with you at 26, and it's about to go. At 26 going once. 26 going twice at 26. So, give her a round of applause. That's the #1. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can't give you #1. I can't give you #1, but I can give you, there are two available, between number 2 and number 20. I can't be fairer than this. Number 1 is obviously a premium, that it's the most collectible piece in the world. However, what I'll do is, for the other 2, if you want them, you were bidding, I think you were in, I don't know, over $2,000 at least. So I think this is very fair. I'm going to bring it under 2,000. I'm going to bring it under 1,500. First 2 people to call in, 1,200 plus a buyer's premium, 1,200 plus a buyer's premium. I'll let those 2 go. 1,200 plus a buyer's premium with the number between number 2 and number 20. That's all there are in the world. Number 1, you just saw that sell. I've got 2 available. They won't be number 1, but it'll be some number between 2 and 20. First 2 people to call in, 1,200. I think that's very fair. Over to Lucy. What do you think, my dear?
I think that's an incredible price, and I'm sure John is not very happy with you. But let's talk about the title as well, The Lotus from the Shadow Sea, number 4. He is really good at naming his works of art, and he does those spontaneously. Numbers mean a great deal to him. He's very much into the Buddhist philosophy. He is, if you've watched him at interview, a very peaceful, calm, humble guy, you know, who I think is just very unassuming and quite shocked by how successful he's become. You know, he's now hobnobbing with some of the greatest out there. And as I've said, you know, he's had 2 provenance museum shows, so he's now a museum provenance artist. And, you know, when he's featured in the Financial Times and Architectural Digest and asked to create work for global events like the World Cup, it tells you something very important. This is an artist with real cultural momentum. His work has now crossed beyond the gallery world into fashion, into design, architecture, international media. And that kind of multi-industry recognition only happens when an artist has a truly original voice, which Kef 100% has. And that's when the whole world starts paying attention. Over to you, Richard.
Well, Lucy, I just wanted to say this. If you don't mind, just to show the framed example again, if someone would like it framed, there are 2 available. I've done it for only 1,200. To frame them in those beautiful presentation frames. We're going to do it just for another $400. That's all it is to frame it. And Lucy will just show you that quickly. She'll also say goodbye. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So ladies and gentlemen, join us nice and early. Great auction. Don't miss the first hour. We normally start at 8. We're starting at 7 tomorrow morning. Here is Lucy. Let's have a quick look, and then I'll be back to close the show.
Yeah, don't hesitate, everyone. You just saw it then. It flashed up on the screen for you. We can go to my screen again if you like, but it is my time to say goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy everything that's going on. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., but it is goodbye from me. And back to you, Richard. See
Thank
you
you,
all
Lucy.
tomorrow.
Great job as always. Lovely lady. Great information as always, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget, I've got 2 of these available. If you want it framed, we'll do it for you. You can have it like that, but it would be just an extra charge, $400 if you want it framed. If not, you've got it framed free of charge, because the other one sold double this at least, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a great opportunity. 1,200 as it is, another 400 if you want it in that beautiful presentation, and it will have the back of it exposed, so you can always see the signature and the number on the back. And ladies and gentlemen, a great opportunity. 1,200 plus the buyer's premium. All you got to do is call in now. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a terrific audience. We will be back 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with a magnificent auction, a great show. Hope you'll join us. Hope you'll enjoy the remainder of the World Cup this evening, the quarterfinals. You've got England against Norway at 5 p.m. You've got Argentina against Switzerland at 9 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope you'll join us tomorrow morning for another magnificent auction. And thank you for your support this morning. Lucy will be back with me. Have a great day. Look after yourselves. There's 1 available of this now. So ladies and gentlemen, see you tomorrow morning. Goodbye. Thank you.